saying the truth. It's Channing Crowder, greatest Dolphins who rock the 52. Solana one best of Miami, the voice of FIU. We reppin' to Miami, the Heat and the Panthers too. We reppin' for the Marlins, the Dolphins, that's how we do. We reppin' for the Crips, so it's always about the you. Hey Jimmy, please get a Pell on the phone and tell him that it's home. I finally got his name on the song. Can't do it wrong, cause it sounds so sweet. Just spit the facts while I keep the crowd on their feet. Football season be the reason that I be bringing this heat. Georgia music representing 104.3. Hey, welcome to the show.
We're live from the Blaze Show, getting out overly ostentatious studios of 104.3 FM WQAM. It is a Monday edition of Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. Mark Hochman out on this Monday. Zach Gelb in, and what a joy it is to be talking to you, because on one side, we got the Florida Panthers get another Kachuk, and on the other side, I think the Miami Heat fans' biggest nightmare and Pat Riley's biggest nightmare, that Giannis Antetokounmpo may not be going to the Heat, because it looks like Jaylen Brown absolutely hates the Boston Celtics right now, and Brad Stevens is probably saying, Jaylen, goodbye. Bring Giannis to Boston, but nothing official yet. Gentlemen, how are you on this Monday?
I'm good, Gelby. I'm good, and I think I called it last week. I said if Jaylen Brown's involved in this, it's going to be ugly, and I don't think Jaylen and Jason Tatum can play together. Just two MVP-type guys, they can't play together. I called it last week.
You know what? Jaylen Brown, I'm so sick of him. I like in 2019, Tracy McGrady had to talk him out of forcing a trade. He wins a finals MVP. He wins a championship. He has this unbelievable season this year where they're the number 2 seed. They gagged away a 3-1 lead to the Sixers. And he's concerned that he's not viewed as the number 1 player on the team. If I put Jaylen Brown available to every team with Jason Tatum, every single GM's taking Jason Tatum over Jaylen Brown. So you go to Milwaukee, enjoy. You'll be a number 1 there. You'll be a star there, and you'll win Jack Bleep. Jaylen Brown, insufferable diva star. I'm tired of everyone kissing his ass. Suck it up, Buttercup. And you should have stayed with Jason Tatum and continue to win in Boston. And now it's screwing Solana's beloved Miami Heat out of the Greek freak Giannis Antetokounmpo. Screw you, Jaylen Brown.
Hey, Solana, hold on real quick. Jaylen Brown's a dog. Jaylen Brown can play. He don't want to be a 2. I understand what you're saying, like have a duo and Batman and Robin type thing. Jaylen Brown doesn't want to do that. And I see what he's saying. I see his approach. I agree with you. He is a diva. He's a very intelligent dude, and he's trying to look at his career and playing his career out right in his prime of his career. I have no problem with Jaylen Brown, Gelby.
Yeah, because you're an athlete defender, and he probably did an interview with you guys on the pivot. Let's be real.
You know what nobody's ever said before when they want to plan for the rest of their career and do the right thing for the rest of their career? Yeah, I want to go to Milwaukee. That's exactly what I want to do. Nobody's ever said that before. And Crowder, to the idea that they can't coexist, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, is nonsense. They won an NBA championship together. This reeks of, like Gelby said, a diva who is sick of playing second fiddle. And by the way, I understand that. He won the ring in Boston. Now he wants to go be the star. He wants to be looked at as the number 1 player. But you couldn't get past the Philadelphia 76ers with a 3-1 series lead as the number 1 player with the team that was the number 2 seed that year that you led to that position. And on top of that, you're going to go be the face of the Milwaukee Bucks. Be careful what you wish for. I've been saying this, Gelby, now for about a month. Jaylen Brown, I understand not wanting to be second fiddle to JT. I understand that dynamic because he is good enough to be the number 1 on a team. There's no doubt about it. But be careful what you wish for, because this is Kyrie Irving 2.0. Kyrie was the smartest guy in the room. Kyrie, everybody considered this intellectual until he thought the earth was flat. Kyrie Irving had to go be the number 1 on a team. And what happened to Kyrie? People. Yeah, very true. And what happened to Kyrie Irving after he left the Cleveland Cavaliers? After he forced his way out because he didn't want to be underneath LeBron's shadow? Nothing. He went to Brooklyn. He went to Boston. He was hated. Then he went to Brooklyn, and it was a disaster with Kyrie Irving. I mean, be careful what you wish for, Jaylen Brown.
I'll give you one better. Now, Kevin Durant's a better player than Jaylen Brown.
No.
But Kevin Durant made the controversial decision, just like how LeBron made a controversial decision to go to Miami, and he became the villain. LeBron embraced being the villain for 4 years. Durant won 2 championships, 2 finals MVPs, and then the role of the villain got to be too much to him. And then Kevin Durant said, I got to go win a championship on my own, even though he was winning finals MVPs with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. And Kevin Durant, since then, has had an embarrassing rest of his career. Didn't get it to work in Brooklyn, didn't get it to work in Phoenix, and now isn't getting it to work in Houston. But the unfortunate part is that it felt like for most of this offseason, this was sealed, signed, delivered, Giannis to the Miami Heat. And now you have Jaylen Brown, who everyone knew he wasn't happy in Boston. And even when he came out at the end of the season and said the 3-1, this season was his favorite, and he got a lot of criticism. Tracy McGrady, T-Mac, who's a mentor of his, said he's frustrated. And Brad had to hold that press conference and say, I think Jaylen likes to be here. We want Jaylen here. Jaylen then went on his stream, and this is when I should have known. Jaylen went on his stream, and he said, I want to be a member of the Celtics for the next 10 years as long as they want me there. And when you say that, you're basically putting on the onus, and you know this, Crowder, because it's player speak and player spin. He's basically saying when he does get traded, see, I said I wanted to be here, but at the end of the day, Brad didn't. And I can't fault Brad Stevens if this deal does get done, and it's still a big if, for saying Jaylen doesn't want to be here. Giannis is out there. Let's go get the player, even though he's a little bit older, and Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, and like you said, there's positive and negative of leaving. LeBron left. He left Cleveland. Everybody was critical of him in that. Came down here and won 2 championships. Then went to LA and won another championship. Like, the moves are the moves, and then you see it on the backside. Can Jaylen go to Milwaukee? Well, who's the best guy with the little teeth, Solana? What's his name? I always make fun of him.
Chris Middleton.
Like,
he's not even there anymore.
Yeah.
He's not even who's the number 2? It's Jaylen Brown to be the 1. Giannis is gone. Who's the 2 in Milwaukee?
Well, it depends. If Kyle Kuzma is going to be trade fodder with Giannis, then if I read
now I'm about to go run with Kyle Kuzma.
There's a lot of reports that he's being moved with you. Whoever takes on Giannis has to take on Kyle Kuzma. There's so many different reports, but yeah, I mean it's Miles Turner and Kyle Kuzma and Bobby Portis.
Yeah,
and that's the thing about it. That's the thing about emotion and strategy. Guys get emotional. Just get me out of here. What's the strategy behind what Jaylen's doing right now?
He's being selfish. That's the strategy. He does not want to be the number 2 in Boston, and he'd rather go be a number 1 and be irrelevant and never win. You know who Jaylen Brown should have been like? And I know people are going to say, oh, it's Gelb. He's the New Yorker. Like, tell him to shut up and stop bringing up the Knicks. Jaylen Brown needs to be more like Karl Anthony Towns, where I'm not the 1, I'm the 2, but I'm very important to a team winning a championship. And look, the first 2 games of the NBA Finals, there was no more important player on the court than Karl Anthony Towns. And when you win, it shouldn't matter. But the fact that Jaylen Brown won a championship and is still acting like a little whiny bitch now all these years later and is still annoyed about this, it makes me hot. It really does. Like, suck it up, and it's going to cost the Heat Giannis Antetokounmpo, and that means Solana's going to be really mad. All right, let's get to headlines.
Hey, Jimmy, mark it down. Gelb went 10 minutes without bringing up the New York Knicks, but reset the timer. I'm sure that'll...
By the way, you refer to them as the world champion New York Knicks.
Man.
Oh, man.
Wes Goldberg going to join us coming up at 2:25. Eddie Olczyk is going to join us as we're going to have a Florida Panthers party today because the Panthers are probably going to win the Cup next year. Now getting Kachuk, but it looks like Bobrovsky's not going to be back. So we'll do a whole lot of Panthers today. Obviously, Giannis will dominate the news. I know what's going to happen. 6 o'clock's going to come. We're going to get off the air, and then boom, breaking news. Giannis gets traded.
Yep.
My daughter was in, it's called Balling on the Beach. It's like one of the biggest AAU tournaments in the nation this weekend. The Let's Go Knicks chant at a 12-year-old basketball game needs to stop, Gelb. Y'all are ridiculous. There's no Knicks on the court.
You wearing an Angels hat today is ridiculous. You want to talk about ridiculous with a yellow T-shirt? You're wearing a yellow T-shirt and a right. What are you, a traffic light today? Are you wearing green as your underwear, red on the top, yellow in the middle, and green down low?
There were grown men cheering "Let's Go Knicks" during 12U basketball.
What a bunch of losers, all of them. Every single one of them are a bunch of losers. That's why that city didn't deserve a ring. Bunch of losers.
Yeah, who won the championship this year? So
in
one year, out the other with Utah two knuckleheads.
Yeah, Solana, we ain't got much to run on right now, bro.
Well, not anymore. I mean, oh my God. Thank God we have one GM in this town that's willing to use their huevos and make some moves. Thank you, Zito, for bringing us the Bash Brothers. Thank God for their effing Florida Panthers. Thank God for the effing Florida Panthers for actually doing something in these critical times where I just need something. Just give me something. And Zito gave it to me.
Have y'all seen Brady in real life?
Tom Brady?
No,
Brady
Kachuk.
Oh, Brady Kachuk.
Have you seen him like stood next to him?
Yeah, big dude.
That dude is a monster, man. He's
a big son of a bitch.
I look like a child standing next to him. I'm 6'3", Gabe. Like, Brady Kachuk is a big human being. I can't wait to watch him play with his brother.
All righty, it's Hochman, Crowder, Solana, Zach Gelb in for Hawk on this Monday. We'll do a ton of Panthers today, a ton of Miami Heat as we're waiting for the Giannis news. We'll also sprinkle in some soccer. Crowder and I really don't care about that, but it's going to get Solana mad. You know that does get me all excited. But Solana, let's get to headlines first.
They're driven by Doral Volkswagen, home of the Pricito, our lowest price. Visit us at Doral Volkswagen or at DoralVolkswagen.com. I'm on edge. You guys know I'm on edge. Uruguay, just absolutely humiliating yesterday. I don't want to talk about it. Argentina just went up 1-0 on Austria. Leo Messi missed a penalty, but then ends up scoring later in the first half. He is now the all-time leading goal scorer in World Cup history. Unbelievable scenes at Dallas earlier today. Unbelievable scenes. Gelby, don't do that. I'm on edge today, bro. Don't do that. We've been following the World Cup. We've been hammering the
I'm like Pat
tournament.
Riley, asleep at the wheel right now.
I tell you, we've been hammering Uruguay, and they tie every damn game.
Nobody told you to hammer Uruguay.
You told me to hammer Uruguay.
Nobody told you to hammer Uruguay.
Boys, separate corners. I'm going to be like my grandmother with my uncle and my dad as a kid. Separate corners, but we'll get to the soccer coming up in a bit. We can't have Solana freak out here right now.
I got 3 kids, and I'm putting money on Uruguay.
Nobody told you to do that, Crowder.
You made millions of dollars. Please, I have no sympathy for you.
Man, we
private jets and hotels. Oh, you lose a few dollars. Oh, big deal. Oh.
We eating cube steaks tonight.
Mince meat.
No joke, man. Zito masterclass yesterday. They end up trading Mackie Samoskevich for some draft capital, and then everybody's like, "Oh, all right. Like, what are they gonna do? A couple extra first-round picks. Boom! You put the Bash brothers together in Florida. Brady Kachuk is now a member of the Florida Panthers. You sent them the 9th overall pick. NHL draft is this Friday. 25th overall pick, a 2029 first overall, and a 2030 second. So any ideas that the Florida Panthers weren't going all in again next year when they're healthy, that goes totally out the window. You have a lineup now that includes Matthew Tkachuk, Brady Tkachuk, Brad Marchand, Sam Bennett. You're going to get your best player back in Barkey as well. We just have to find out, what ends up happening with Sergei Bobrovsky. But, I mean, I don't think as a Panthers fan, you could ask for a better offseason addition than bringing in the other Tkachuk brother.
Crowder, if you need some cash, maybe you'll be the goalie for the Panthers this year. You could win that Vizina.
I like Vizina, but my knees can't do that bend it down thing, Gail.
Imagine Crowder walking into the locker room. I'll win the Vizina. They'll be like, the Vezina? The Vizina? You going to Tootsie's later? What are you doing? Cheetah?
If you're just catching up on the Giannis stuff, I know we talked about it to start the show, but here's why things seem to have kind of flipped in one direction. Because on Saturday, it almost felt like this was inevitable. All the odds, I know everybody's posting the Kalshi market as well. Just seemed like Boston was out of it. The reports were that they weren't willing to offer Jaylen Brown. This morning, Shams Charania, he goes on Get Up. That changes. It looks like from several different outlets, whether it's Shams, whether it's Mark Stein. It seems like all the reporting indicates that this is coming down to 2 teams. Shams was just on ESPN again with Pat McAfee, and he was saying that the Bucks brass are sitting down right now deciding between the Heat offer and the Celtics offer. That Celtics offer is reportedly now including Jaylen Brown. The Heat offer, there's several different reports, several different reporting on whatever you want to choose to believe from very credible reporters that the Heat aren't willing to gut their entire team. They don't want to gut all their draft resources. Other reports claim that the Heat are offering everything except for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Except for Bam Adebayo for Giannis. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. It seems very imminent, maybe during our show, but certainly before tomorrow's 7 p.m. NBA draft, that something is going to go down.
The right now versus the what if. And the right now is Jaylen Brown.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the
pretty much
is
it what it is. Like
sorry, Tyler Hero, that doesn't excite me compared to Jaylen Brown.
No. If you're the Buck, that's why the Bucks waited. By the way, that's why the Bucks waited. They played. If they end up getting Jaylen Brown plus Hugo plus a first round pick in this draft, plus maybe one more first round pick, that's why the Bucks waited until the draft and didn't take the Heat's offer earlier.
And not only that. Like, I know there's been some talk, and now it seems like the pendulum shifting into the Bucks keeping Brown. But if they don't want to keep Brown and just do a full reset, that's a piece that could even attract younger talent to Milwaukee if they want to flip in them coming up later.
Yeah. The most valuable piece that's in this whole entire thing is Jaylen Brown's talent.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go to Carnivore Steakhouse. You could cry all you want there, Jaylen Brown, and eat delicious steak there in Milwaukee.
Hey man, let
Great
him
steakhouse.
Control his career, Gelb.
No, please. He's prioritizing himself over winning. Yeah. Sick of having to just pat all these athletes on the ass.
Bum. The Miami Marlins deserve some love. They beat San Francisco yesterday. They sweep the Giants. They've won 8 in a row at home for the first time since 2009. The Marlins are over 500. Gentlemen, they host the Rangers for a 3-game series. If you're anywhere near Lone Depot Park, if you're in Little Havana for the next couple hours, your ass better be in a damn kilt, because there are Scottish fans. The entire Tartan Army is out there today. So I'll have more on that coming up in the 3 and 4 o'clock hours.
Okay, I heard about that. They say the Scotland fans are nuts.
They're nuts, and they are all going to be out there. They're taking over Lone Depot Park. They're walking from Calle Ocho from 2 to 4 to the actual stadium. So it's going to be scenes in Little Havana on Calle Ocho. Again, if you're there, though, get ready for some delays in terms of driving. Your weather in South Florida right now, Marlins play tonight against the Rangers, 6:40. Your weather in South Florida right now, it is 89 degrees, hot as hell in Miami. That's brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting, helping homeowners stay safe this storm season. Visit tornadoroofing.com for a free roof and window estimate.
We get all the latest on Giannis Antetokounmpo next. Wes Goldberg does a great job locked on Heat. He'll join us, Hochman, Crowder, and Solana, Zach Gelbin for Hawk on this Monday.
You're listening to the Hawk, Crowder, and Solana show.
I'm not a football guy, you know that, but I read Bill Walsh's book. Do you remember? You know the book?
I can't read, Coach.
Alrighty, welcome back in. It's Hochman, Crowder, and Solana on this Monday. Zach Gelbin for Hawk. Wes Goldberg joins us right now on the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. ToyotaofHollywood.com. Wes Goldberg, Locked On Heat, right here on the Hochman, Crowder, and Solana show. Wes, appreciate it. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're doing fantastic. So it felt like for the last few weeks, one way or another, Giannis Antetokounmpo was going to wind up with the Miami Heat. Over the weekend, it feels like that pendulum has shifted because the Celtics are appearing to want to include Jaylen Brown in a deal. Do you feel like right now, how I'm feeling, that Giannis is going to wind up in Boston and Pat Riley and the Heat are going to be out of luck?
Certainly all the momentum seems to be trending in that direction, but I'll say this, it feels like this entire saga, it's gone back and forth between a bunch of different kinds of things. I mean, it felt like Boston might have been in the lead a couple weeks ago, and then they kind of fall off a little bit. The one thing we know is that Miami is super motivated to get something done. Doesn't mean they're going to get it done, but they're not going to go away until anything is fully settled here. To pretend to know which way the Bucks are leaning on this, I just don't want to go that far, because the one thing you've heard a lot is, well, boy, if the Milwaukee Bucks really loved Miami's offer, they would have taken the offer by now, which I never thought was true in the first place, because their deadline was tomorrow night. So why take it earlier than your deadline if you don't have to? But the same could be said about the Celtics offer. If they really loved the Celtics offer, wouldn't they have also taken that already too? If this has been on the table for about a week, if that's what the reporting indicates there. So they clearly are considering both of these offers, and it's going to come down to what they think they could do with Jaylen Brown, if he's really the centerpiece of that deal going forward, versus, an allotment of different kinds of assets that they can get from Miami. And I think that's probably what the front office is weighing right now, while they also allow the Celtics and the Heat to maybe sweat a little bit and give them room to make a call and try to better their offer potentially.
And Wes is like, could we criticize Pat Riley for this? Not for overall. Pat's amazing. But for what's been going on, the Damian Lillard thing, we know the owner was acting crazy, but like, we're missing on those whales. We're throwing harpoons and we're not hitting the whale as it's in the water. Like, is there any criticism of the Heat brass?
I'm not ready to do that. We got to see what happens with Giannis. If you get Giannis, no criticism, right? If you end up getting him, then everything's good. What I will criticize the Heat for, if they don't land Giannis and they don't really have a great plan B, is the fact that they haven't had these plan Bs lined up in the past. Whether it was missing out on Damian Lillard when they did, and the timing of that was obviously a problem. It was right basically before training camp started and all these things, and so there wasn't a lot of time to pivot from up to a plan B, but they didn't have one lined up then. They didn't have a plan B lined up when they didn't trade for Kevin Durant last summer. They didn't have a plan B necessarily when they didn't get Giannis in February, right? And maybe the plan B all along was to just wait until this summer. Okay, if you get Giannis, all's forgiven, right? Like, this is the best player that we're talking about. Kevin Durant, Damian Lillard, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, like, name all the names. Giannis is going to be the best guy if they get him. He's the best guy that's being moved that we're talking about. So you get him, all's forgiven. But if you don't get him, and there's no real plan B, and there's no path for the future that fans can see, that's where the criticism, and I know Pat Riley already did his press conference at the end of the season. He might have to do another one if they miss out.
Wes Goldberg here with us. I was just reading on Twitter before we came back from break that Brett Siegel is saying that plan B could be Kawhi Leonard, and that's why the Heat want to know now so then they could pivot before the draft coming up tomorrow night. Would Kawhi, with his past, even though he won a championship with the Spurs and then won one with the Raptors, would Kawhi at this stage of his career excite you as plan B for Miami if they miss out on Giannis?
Exciting. That's a funny word to use there, isn't it? With Kawhi Leonard. I don't know that I'd get excited about,
he's not going to play. He's going to play 14 games, Gail. Come on now.
I'd say 24, maybe.
Me personally, no, I wouldn't be excited. Kawhi was playing. You could argue Kawhi was, for a stretch of season, the best player in the league. He was playing like that for different stretches. But we see this with Kawhi every single year. And I'm curious, and I'm actually curious to hear what you guys think on this. Like, after the Jimmy Butler situation, his wavering availability during the seasons, not really caring about the regular season, prioritizing being healthy for the playoffs more than putting his team in position to make the playoffs during the regular season. Some of the off-the-court things with Jimmy Butler, very much kind of his own guy.
Not really Heat culture if you go get Kawhi.
Yeah, marching to the beat of what's the appetite for Heat fans to basically do that again, right? With Kawhi Leonard, who's just very much kind of doing his own thing, not really part of an organization. You never know what he's going to be every single day. Is he going to be available tonight? Is he not? When's he going to play? When is he not going to play? Is he going to be healthy? What's his long-term viability and all these things? I don't sense that that's something that's very appetizing for the Miami Heat. I could be wrong. Maybe you're desperate enough to go take a swing at it. And the other thing with Kawhi is like, okay, if you want to just kind of take a short-term swing at Kawhi now, and then you can create, you can kind of pivot later on. That's also a possibility there. But yeah, I'm curious what you guys think about that. Cause I personally don't necessarily want to I don't want to be a Kawhi team, but after the whole Jimmy Butler stuff, but maybe you guys disagree.
Yeah, I don't. Just to answer your question, Wes, I just think the appetite overall from Heat fans is it's got to be something different, and I think
it's fair.
I believe the Heat front office is in respects to, trying to make a quality move while not setting the franchise further back down the road. I just think there's an appetite for something different. And by the way, I mean, it's pretty evident that Tyler Hero's being shopped around. Like the idea that you bring back Tyler Hero to me, it just makes no sense at this point, because we know with the social media stuff and all that, baggage already, it just seems like that relationship is probably spoiled. But Wes, because of the reporting that we're seeing, that there's been some conflicting reports today that the Miami Heat maybe don't want to gut all their assets and their trade capital or their draft capital. What, in your mind, is the right move here? Is it anything that the Bucks want, especially now knowing that Jaylen Brown's involved, except for Bam Adebayo? Like, should it literally be blank slate? What do you want? We're willing to give it to you, or do you still think the Miami Heat should perhaps, try to hold on to, whether it be a Pella or whether it be a Kaz or whether it be whatever it is that they deem, still a win for them as well?
You have to draw the line somewhere, don't you? You can't just slide a blank check over and just be like, whatever you want outside of Bam. If you, at some point, you just have to draw a line. You trade for Giannis not to get Giannis and then sell Giannis jerseys. You trade for Giannis to put yourself in title contention, to give yourself a chance to really compete. So you got to ask yourself, okay, on the other side of a Giannis trade, are we in that position, or are we now going to just sell a bunch of new merchandise? Is that essentially what we're accomplishing here? And the Heat don't operate that way. They want to contend for a title. So they've got to have a plan. And I'm sure that they have a number of different sort of things sketched out on whiteboards somewhere at Kaseya Center of, okay, if we give up XYZ and we get Giannis, then we can go get ABC and fill out the roster that way. I do wonder, though, because I know that we keep talking about, like, right, you got to get it done. You can't not get Giannis because you weren't willing to include Pella or something like that. But, like, are the Bucks really, what I can't figure out, like, the Bucks are really going to hold up a better deal for Pella Larson? Like, that doesn't really make sense either. So to me, I don't even think it's the players part of this, because I don't think they view Pella or Kaz or anybody like that. I think the players that they really value are probably already part of this trade, is my sense. I wonder if it's something a little bit more, if it's part of the draft capital stuff, if it's not all the picks, or maybe even the pick swaps with these new anti-tanking rules. I'm really curious to see how front offices value swaps, because there's greater variability now in the swaps that could be included. And I wonder if maybe that's part of it, but that's me just sort of speculating as to what could potentially make sense. Or the Bucks are just like, hey, we were always going to make our final decision on Monday night or Tuesday morning anyway. We're just going to let you sweat it out.
I think what this was really is just trying to get the most out of Boston. Like, I read that Sam Amick article that came out on Friday. Boston wanted to do Giannis for Jaylen Brown. There's no way the Bucks were ever going to do that. And I just think it came down to Boston realizing, hey, Jaylen doesn't really want to be here. If we let Giannis go to Miami, then what are we going to do when Jaylen still doesn't want to be here? And it was just enhancing that offer from Boston for it to not be only Jaylen, but then Jaylen and a lot of draft capital.
I think that's a really good read on the situation also. I've looked at it that way. I'm just really curious to see what Boston will ultimately do. Their level of desperation cannot be what Miami's level of desperation is. Like, there's no way. I mean, you won a championship with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. It doesn't make any sense. I believe that they're interested in getting Giannis, and I do believe Jaylen Brown will get traded either way for Giannis or for other pieces here. But it'll be, if you're the Celtics, do you really want to sit there and like, we're giving you Jaylen Brown, and now you want more draft picks? Like, I can understand maybe moving a pick or two, but I was talking to some people in Boston, and like, we don't think that they're going to give up a ton of draft capital plus Jaylen Brown plus like a Hugo and all these other kind of things that Milwaukee might want. And so, yeah, I think basically Milwaukee is just playing Miami and Boston off of each other, which is really smart because these are two organizations that obviously have a history together and they don't want to lose to the other one.
One more
Wes,
for me. Oh, go ahead, Channing.
Hold on. I was going to say, Wes, because to Solana's last question, like a Kaz or a Jovic, or me and Solana argue all the time. I'm like, bro, you fall in love with these guys. Are they pieces to a championship team? No. Like, I love Bam. Everybody else can go, Wes. Triple J, I know he was 6th man of the year candidate and all. Like, if you get a Giannis, my thing is everybody can go. Keep Bam, put Bam and Giannis. They're the best front court in the entire league. We'll figure out the guards on the back end.
That's why I'm saying, like, it doesn't make sense that a deal would be held up for some of these other bit pieces. That's why I think it might be the draft capital, because if you're the Heat, yeah, our depth didn't get us anywhere, right? I've made the argument on Locked On Heat. I'm like, everybody, you can't sacrifice. What depth? This team doesn't have depth. It has players on a roster, but it's not deep enough to be like, we can't talk about this roster in a meaningful way. They missed the playoffs. And so my thing is, well, do you think that you need more draft capital going forward to restock with players who fit around? Now that you have Giannis on the roster, going into a draft as a Giannis team, now you think a little bit differently. You think about a different kind of player, different kind of skill set that you might need. That's why I'm wondering if that's maybe where the holdup is more, as opposed to some of the players who are already on the team.
The last thing for me, Wes Goldberg here with us, and let me be clear. I'm prefacing by saying I would rather have the Heat to have Giannis Antetokounmpo than Kawhi Leonard. But if it is Kawhi just for next season, Kawhi with Bam, I think, is a better fit than with Giannis and Bam just for next season, not the long-term future of the franchise.
I could see that reasoning. I still think that the Giannis and Bam fit is being slept on. I think that they could really work well together. I know none of them are a floor spacer and whatever, but boy, are they both really smart basketball IQ players. Defensively, forget about it. They're the best defensive front court in the NBA, full stop. No question. And I think the fit defensively can really fuel what they can do offensively. And I'd be really interested to see what those two could do together, figuring it out. You have to get somebody to play the point that you feel good about. Maybe it's Davion Mitchell. Maybe it's Kaz if he sticks around, whatever. But the Kawhi Bam fit is a good one. My question would be, how many games are we getting of that? You know, is Kawhi healthy for the games that matter? Do we get to see that fit together in a playoff scenario? That matters. But look, I do think if the Heat do strike out on Giannis, there is a package here that the rest of the league already knows about. And I do think they end up shopping either that package or parts of that package or variations of that package to other teams around. Maybe it's the Clippers with Kawhi. Maybe they're calling Memphis about John Morant. Maybe they're calling Jaylen Brown's next team. Who knows, right? Like, I think there's a lot of different options that we're not even talking about that could potentially be on the table. But I do think that the Heat are going to make some kind of move. They obviously hope that it's Giannis, but we'll see.
He's Wes Goldberg. He hosts Locked On Heat podcast. He also hosts the Locked On NBA Daily Show and Real GM Radio. You could follow him on X at WC Goldberg, and you could also follow Locked On Heat on X and YouTube as well. Once again, Wes Goldberg joins us on the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, toyotaofhollywood.com. Wes, we appreciate it. Thanks for the insight.
Thanks, guys.
There you go. Wes Goldberg joining us on Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. We'll react to what Wes has to say on the other side about maybe the potential pivot to Kawhi if they don't get Giannis. We're coming on back in a few minutes.
You're listening to the Hawk, Crowder, and Solana Show.
Hamburger.
All righty, welcome back in on this Monday. Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. Zach Gelbin for Mark Hochman. We got two huge stories right now in the South Florida sports scene. We are waiting to see what's going to happen with Giannis Antetokounmpo, but it seems like it's down to between the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat, with the pendulum shifting towards Boston. And then, oh yeah, by the way, over the weekend, I see Jimmy's in the Cats gear, as they're probably going to win another Stanley Cup shortly. The Cats did trade for Brady Tkachuk, and there's a lot of talk about Bobrovsky not coming back. We'll get to that in a bit. 3:25 today, Eddie Olczyk, lead color analyst, NHL on TNT. He's going to join us. But Solana, I want to ask you this, because I asked it to Wes Goldberg, who just joined us. Let's assume, and I may be assuming wrong here, but if that's the case, so be it, that Giannis goes to Boston. Would Kawhi excite you?
If the move happens because we don't land Giannis, right? The Miami Heat end up missing out on Giannis. Yeah, I struggle. I hesitate to use the word excite me, but yes, I would welcome a move for Kawhi, because like I told Wes Goldberg, I think this roster needs something different. I think you need a different caliber of player than you have right now. And to me, Kawhi Leonard, while I don't love the lack of availability, I think everything Wes said is spot on in terms of this feels like Jimmy Butler 2.0. Kawhi's better than Jimmy Butler, right? When they're healthy and at their peak. But in terms of they kind of just do what they want, and they don't buy into what the Heat want their players to buy into, which is their organization and doing things the way that, the Heat want them to. Kawhi's not that guy. So it just feels like there's so much potential for that relationship to sour quickly. And by the way, Gelb, Crowder, I was at the Pat Riley end of season press conference. The last question to Pat was from me, and I asked him, what will be at the top of the list when considering potential acquisitions, whether via trade or whether via free agency market? Will it be availability? And he said that will be priority number one. He wants players who are available. Kawhi Leonard clearly doesn't fit that bill. However, things change when you miss out on Giannis Antetokounmpo and you've been shopping Tyler Hero around. You have to do something, in my opinion. I'd welcome Kawhi Leonard. I just don't want to give up a ton of draft capital for him. To me, that seems like a tough situation for the Heat.
Solana, I want to ask you this, because Wes brought it up too. And I was at, I'm a name dropper. I was at UD this weekend. Do the Heat need to start letting go of this culture thing and just go get players that can ball? Like this whole buy-in to the Heat thing, like can we start letting that go a little bit? Because we need players, Solana.
But I think they have. Like, I really do think they have, Crowder. I don't think that they're just going after guys that only fit their culture, because, like, to me, they draft Kel'el Ware. And what was Kel'el Ware's biggest criticism coming out of college? It was a lack of motor. And what's the number one thing, when you think of quote-unquote Heat culture?
Best condition, hardest working.
That work harder than everybody. So, like,
but no one knew who he was. Like I'm just saying, like, coming out of college, it's different if you go make a move for a star that goes against Heat culture. Like, Kawhi, to me, seems like a desperate move. If they're going to go make a move for Kawhi, I would rather just go younger, and you can't trust this guy either. I would go make the move for Ja Morant before I would Kawhi, if you're just going to say blow up Heat culture. And I don't think it's a wrong thing to say goodbye to Heat culture.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think this organization would not go after a star caliber, superstar caliber player because of Heat culture. Like, I don't think the idea of what we think Heat culture is stretches that line, beyond that, where they're not going to go after a certain player because of it. Here's the thing though, Gelb, like, Ja Morant presents its own challenges.
Yeah.
What are you going to give up for Ja Morant? I mean, if you can get him for nothing, like literally nothing, sure. I think everybody would welcome that situation. But if you have to give up picks, and now if you miss out on Giannis, let's be honest here, the Miami Heat are going to be without leverage in a lot of these conversations, because teams around the NBA are going to know. It's not even that they're desperate, but like,
no, if they miss out on Giannis, they're desperate.
Yeah. I guess you're right.
But did we show our hand too early?
No, because this is your hand. Everybody knows this was your hand. The Heat have been tied to Giannis for a long time, Crowder. Everybody knew this was your hand. So whether or not the Heat were as and by the way, this isn't coming from the Heat. Like, everybody just assumes that this is what's being offered by Miami, and it's probably coming from Milwaukee. That'd be my guess because the Heat don't release anything. Everybody knew that Miami was going to make a full court press for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like it was never a secret. So I don't think they revealed their hand. Like it was known. Everybody knew it was going to be Miami involved in this.
It's just going to be fascinating to me if they don't get Giannis, how they spin this. Because Kawhi doesn't excite me. Ja, I don't trust him.
Right.
But I would be probably most excited about Ja. Trae Young, I think even Solana will agree with me on this one. We want no part of.
Well, I just saw a report. I just got the push notification right now from Shams Charania. Trae Young intends to sign a 4-year, approximately $212 million deal to stay with the Wizards. The 4-time NBA All-Star declined his $49 million player option. I just did the math. That's $53 million a year. Look, man.
Should have played more basketball.
We talked about Trae Young, but I'm good on that, man.
Yeah, I ain't paying the 53. I like Trae Young. Ja is the most, you say exciting, the word exciting, Ja is the most exciting name on that list. That would be fun.
If they don't get Giannis, it's really going to turn on Pat. Like, I remember I came on this show and I'm like, hey, Pat, it may be time to go retire. And I have all the respect in the world for Pat Riley. That's not meant as a critical statement, but not everyone, lasts until they basically die in this sport. Yeah. If they don't get Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kawhi doesn't excite you. I think Ja's a long shot. And now I wouldn't be excited about Trae Young. I think that's a blessing that he signed that deal with Washington. But, man, those options, they are slim.
Yeah. We see athletes do it all the time. We saw Peyton Manning in Denver.
Yeah.
He couldn't throw the ball over 13 yards.
But he won a Super Bowl that last year.
Pat got us Shaq. I appreciate you, Pat. Pat got us the big three. I appreciate you, Pat. Pat got us Jimmy. I appreciate you, Pat. When does it run out? Because now we have not had a competing team for years.
Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. Oh, you can see how heated Solana's getting right now.
Solana gets so
he just
mad.
Bit that
Solana,
lip. He bit that lip.
I'm just not willing to concede yet. Is all I'm saying.
You can't have Alonzo Mourning and Udonis Haslam your whole life. Sooner or later, you have to move on.
I'm not willing to concede. Like you guys are talking about Pat retiring already. Like if this is a foregone conclusion, and I'm not willing to concede yet. Let's see what ends up happening here. Because if Pat Riley somehow lands Giannis Antetokounmpo,
good for him.
In 1 hour's time, you're going to be feeling a lot different about your statements just now. And I'm going to have that tape on you, Crowder. You're going to be feeling a lot different about the Godfather.
I appreciate that.
Right. 5 o'clock could be a big deadline here. That early bird special gets going right at 5. You got to get the deal in before 5.
Right. He got to go get dinner before the sun goes down.
Get those grits. Easy to chew on those grits. Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. Zach Gilbin for Mark Hochman. Eddie Olczyk going to join us, talk some Panthers at 3:25. We continue the Giannis talk. We continue the Brady Tkachuk talk. We'll come on back in 5 minutes right here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
You're listening to the Hawk, Crowder, and Solana show.
My prostate's the size of a bagel.
Did you leave, babe?
All righty, welcome back in. It's Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. Zach Gelbin for Mark Hochman on this Monday. Eddie Olczyk going to join us coming up at 3:25. So in about 15, 20 minutes from now, we'll chat a little bit about the Panthers, the future of Bobrovsky, and then also now having not only one Tkachuk, but two Tkachuks, as Matthew Tkachuk and Brady Tkachuk are both in South Florida. I'm just going to give everyone a warning. The 305 alarm is coming up in a minute. The only reason I say that is for people that aren't aware of the 305 alarm, like myself the first time I did this show. I thought it was a breaking news alert, and I just don't want to give anyone a heart attack when they hear that buzzer go off and with Jimmy's homemade sound effects, just not thinking that it's going to be a Giannis Antetokounmpo trade.
Don't worry, we've got a Shams bomb sound effect. So if you hear a Shams bomb sound effect, then that's probably a good indicator that.
What does that sound like? A Shams bomb? Like
You got that, Jimmy? We'll give Jimmy
like
a second
that?
to look it up. No, it's more
Bomb.
Shams bomb.
Something like that.
I enjoy the effects.
Yeah.
It's 305.
Dale.
God bless. Dale.
Dale.
Thank you, Jimmy.
And there you go. That, of course, is the 305 alarm, and it's sponsored by Miami Lake Chevrolet, where you walk in as a customer and drive out as a family. That always gets me, the thank you, and just like the bond that you guys have over the 305 alarm. How'd the thank you start?
It used to be a bit. Jimmy used to have like a one-liner that he would say, but then it just became me writing it for Jimmy, and he got lazy with it. So we've penalized him since. We've cut out his one-liner because he put zero effort into it. So we've penalized Jimmy.
So Jimmy just couldn't come up with the one-liner is what you were saying.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
I just got sick of it. Like, he put zero effort into it. Every day he'd show up, he'd be like, oh, well, today's National Gravy Day. Well, yeah, Jimmy, I know. I sent that. I know it's National Gravy Day. So yeah. When Jimmy starts putting effort into it again, we'll bring it right back, because I loved the one-liners.
I want you to leave my Jimmy alone.
It's like Britney Spears.
That's my Jimmy. Leave Jimmy alone.
Leave Jimmy alone. Leave him alone. So clearly Solana wants Giannis to the Heat.
Yes.
If you guys had to give up one thing that's important to you to assure that Giannis Antetokounmpo would be on the Miami Heat for this upcoming season of Heat basketball, what would it be?
Ooh.
I think I know what it should be for Solana.
Anything. Go ahead. Take it. What do
Okay,
you
how
want?
about your dog? Did you give up your dog?
He's right here. Here, you can come pick him up.
Oh,
I'll
Gab, you
ship him
haven't
to you
heard.
right now.
You haven't heard, Gab. We have a whole skit about it where he's like, I love my dog. You can have my dog. I said, I'll give you $100,000. Come pick him up. Where you want me to meet you?
Well, you want my dog? I don't even like his stupid mud anyways. Take him.
I don't know. I don't know.
He's licking his butt right now. Come take him.
He's like Pat Riley.
I would. Ooh. Can't be family because what we have Giannis. What's he really going to play? Another
How
4
many
or
kids
5
do you have,
years?
Crowder?
I have 3 kids.
Give up one of them.
No, I can't give them
Who's
up.
the
I
biggest
love them
pain
all.
in the ass?
They can have my dog. You can pick my dog up right now for free. This little thing, all he does is eat and poop. I'll give up my truck.
That's fair. A truck for Giannis, that works.
If they want a 2025 Suburban, I will give it to them if we can guarantee Giannis comes to Miami.
Yeah, but it's not fair because he's got the Ed Morse plug, so he'll just have another one by the end of the day.
Did you guys, by the way, hear? I think you could hear it on YouTube. Solana always forgets to mute his mic during the breaks.
I don't always forget. That was a one-time flub, but it's all right. I mean,
Do you know what you said?
Yeah, I asked my
Hey,
fiance
babe.
if she had
Hey,
left
babe.
yet.
You're on the babe? Like you
Well,
go babe?
Yeah, I do go babe, but here's what really happened. So she's going to a concert right now, and she's late. She's running late. She's been looking for this box of hers that has like, I don't know, like hair bands in it. I don't know. She's been looking for this box. I'm not even joking, for the past hour. And finally she texted me while we had Wes on, and she said, I'm just gonna go. I can't find it. Like, I'll see if one of my friends has an extra, I don't know, hair band or hair tie. And right when we went to break, I looked back, and the box she's looking for, I'm not even joking, was right here on my counter. Like, you might have even been able to see it on our video feed. And I remember I took it from her like a week ago because I was using it as like a tripod stand. And when I saw that thing, I'm like, oh man, let me make sure she hasn't left yet, because if she has, and I tell her I had it the whole time, that's tough for me, bro. That I would have been in big trouble. So
Crowder,
I hit her with hey babe, you still here? I got you.
I'm not buying this story.
I found
Crowder, they couldn't find the hairband. This means that Solana probably hasn't been in the best mood the last week. He's been grumpy. Maybe they just haven't been so sexually active as we wait on Giannis. Maybe they got it on this weekend and they threw the hairband somewhere, and Solana didn't be the good fiance and pick it up and put it back in its spot. That's what it sounds like to me.
I just, Gilby, as a man, I'm honest with my friends, and Solana's a friend of mine. Solana, you have the Find My, y'all have location sharing on your phone?
Yeah, she forced that on me. She did.
Okay, because there's no concert that starts at 3 p.m.
No, I'm with you. I think it's ridiculous. But they're going to, I think, is it, I think, the one in West Palm Beach?
You better think about something else if she's leaving at 2:30 in the afternoon. You think, we think, I think.
Hopefully she's just not going to Geno Smith's house if you saw that story today.
No, I mean, dude, everybody wears stilettos to I Think Finance Amphitheater, right?
Solana, as your friend, there is no concert that starts at 3:10 p.m.
No, she was rocking a mini skirt and some stilettos.
There's actually one concert. There is one concert that starts so early. Could be a Drake concert, if you know what I'm saying. Best I ever had.
The difference between Crowder and I is that if Drake was hollering at my fiance, I'd be like, take her. Are you kidding me? Go. Let's go. That's a free pump for me.
So Solana
would give up his fiance for Giannis, is what I just took from that.
Oh, you want her?
Another fish
you can't have Asia. We 17 years in. We locked in now.
I'll date Jimmy. I mean, that's fine. Let's go. You see,
just Solana.
I don't swing that way, Solana.
Solana, check in every 20 minutes or so, just because I don't like this story. I don't like what's going on.
Maybe she's going to Pat Riley's house, a little back rub. I wasn't going to say a Robert Kraft playbook, and
Kelby,
get Pat going.
What are we doing? Wait, girlfriends aren't off limits anymore.
Solana, what concert starts at 3 o'clock?
You brought it up on the show. You said, "Hey, babe," and we all heard it. What am I supposed to do? Not react to it?
I mean, the behind the scenes streaming audience gets a little show. Yeah. No, Crowder, I live 2 hours from I Think. So she's going to her friend's house. They're going to pregame a little bit.
Okay.
And then they're going to drive up to I Think. Concert starts at like 6:30. So, do the timeline here. It's 3. By the time she gets there, they drink a little bit. They meet up with the guys, getting them in for free. I mean.
Yeah.
Whole lot of guys.
Whatever, man.
Jack.
Whatever. Hey, babe, have fun, bro.
Nothing in the world is free. Trust me.
Take care of her, brother. Take care of her. Bring her back tomorrow. All good.
Where's this concert at? Maybe I'll go. I'll see who's there.
Timeline ain't working out for me, Solana.
All righty, let's get to headlines. Go ahead, Solana.
God, I hope
maybe the only thing you have after the show, honestly.
Yeah, I hope she's not listening either. I play the tough guy.
Who's that loudmouth? I don't like that guy filling in for Hawk today. Hawk at least gets me ice cream and avocado toast when we go out with him.
I play the tough guy act on the air, but man, am I putting soft, man. I'm putting softer on here, bro.
You're smitten. That's nice.
I'm going to a concert at 11 a.m. Have a good time, babe. What?
Hopefully it's not a Big X The Plug concert. The biggest, the largest.
I need to see the tickets.
These headlines are sponsored by Doral Volkswagen, home of the Pricito. He got me a little nervous, dude. I might. You guys got it, right? I'll be back. I'll be back at like 4.
Just check that location, bro.
Home of the Pricito, our lowest price. Visit us at Doral Volkswagen or at DoralVolkswagen.com. I'd mentioned to you guys that the Tartan Army from Scotland were taking over Lone Depot Park. Bro, no joke. It is going to be an absolute scene inside Lone Depot Park. Marlins, they host the Texas Rangers for a 3-game series. So even like the Miami Police Department, they put out this big press release that they have estimates of 2,000 to as many as 10,000 participants that will be gathering on Calle Ocho, that's 8th Street, Gelb, at around 2 p.m. So it started a little bit earlier. They're going to be enjoying all of Calle Ocho. And then at 4 p.m., the entire Tartan Army will march northbound on Southwest 15th Avenue from 8th Street towards Lone Depot Park. And they're going to have police bicycles and police presence guiding them. And then I don't know if you guys saw the scenes from Boston at Fenway Park, but those Scottish fans, bro, like they create a party. It's going to be a scene over there.
I was actually in Boston 2 weeks ago, and it was before a game, and you had all those fans like walking around as I'm trying to eat a nice Italian dinner. I'm out in the Tartan Army. I give them up for Miami to get Giannis. Okay, they are.
Don't they wear the men wear skirts?
Yeah, the kilts.
Well, they're not skirts; they're kilts.
It's a skirt.
Well, no, I mean it's not a skirt. It's not it's not the skirt that my fiance is wearing to go to this concert. Like it's a kilt. It's a cultural outfit that they're wearing.
Oh, okay.
I think it's cool as hell. I think
they're
it's cool
all
as
in
hell,
like
man.
they do it all. I heard about this. It's funny you brought it up early in the show. I heard about this. They were like these fans are crazy.
Would you wear a kilt for the next year, Solana, if it means the Heat got Giannis?
I'd wear a kilt for the rest of my life if it meant not the rest of my life, but I'd wear a kilt for the next 3 years if it meant the Heat would land Giannis Antetokounmpo. Plus, I happen to think I look good in a kilt.
I could see you pulling it off with those like skinny little chicken legs. Yeah, work.
Yeah. No draws.
Gelb spends 18 hours a week on the ellipticals. The dude's got calves as
You're
big
obsessed
as,
with my calves, man.
bro. Your calves are.
He's in the transfer portal for me when his wife or his fiance is with someone at this concert.
Your calves are massive, bro.
You a big dude, bro. I was talking about somebody earlier. Well, Brady Kachuk. You a big guy.
I'll see you at the elbow room, Brady. Looking forward to it.
First pitch tonight for the Marlins is at 6:40 p.m., by the way. You can listen to the game here on FM 104.3 WQAM. Argentina ends up winning the game 2-0 against Austria. They're going to end up winning Group J. Leo Messi scored a brace, so he stands alone now, 2 goals above Mueller for the all-time leading goal scorer in World Cup history. You've got another couple bangers coming up later today. France and Iraq play at 5. Norway, Senegal play at 8. Jordan, Algeria play at 11.
I got money on France.
Kylian Mbappe, anytime goal.
I got money on France winning it all. I watched one game and they took 1,400 shots and the other team didn't even get down there.
Is there a sport you don't bet on, Channing?
Whew. That's a hell of a question,
Hockey?
and you make me insecure about it. No, I bet on the Panthers all the time.
All the time, yeah.
I don't bet. I don't do the ping pong. I don't do the 2 a.m. ping pong.
Oh,
that's
you're
about
missing
it.
out. You're missing out, bro.
What was that like when we were growing up? ESPN the Ocho? Maybe bring that back. Channing would be
2 a.m.
broke.
Oh my goodness! I gamble on everything I can gamble on.
If it's on the Hard Rock Bet app, I've bet on it, man. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's a good statement or not, but yeah, I've bet on it.
Yep. Len Weiner's going to start texting Channing about ping pong, so he starts betting on that to get Channing to stay here for another decade.
1-888 admit it. I'm not gonna call.
188 Channing did it. That's what they're going to call that number soon.
We are on Giannis watch, by the way. I don't want anybody to think that I'm giving that short shrift. We had Wes Goldberg on earlier. We're on Giannis watch. Right now, it seems like it's going to come down to the Celtics or the Miami Heat. The reports are that Jaylen Brown is now in trade talks, or the Celtics are including Jaylen Brown in trade talks. So we'll see, man. This will likely be resolved over the next 24 hours tomorrow. NBA draft. Tobin and I will be at the Heat's draft party. By the way, tomorrow we'll be hosting WQAM's NBA draft show. Your weather in South Florida. It's brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting, helping keep your home and family safe when the storms roll in. Visit tornadoroofing.com for your free roof and window estimate. 94 degrees. Perfect weather to be wearing a kilt. Back to you, Gelb.
Or nothing at all.
Kilt, no
Just
draws.
saying. Eddie Olczyk going to join us coming up in 5 minutes. We'll talk about Kachuk, another Kachuk coming to the Panthers, Brady joining his brother Matthew, also the future of Bobrovsky. We'll get all to that on the other side. And we continue to monitor the status of Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't think Edzo is going to give us any Giannis takes, but we'll talk some pucks with him next.
This is Hawk, Crowder, and Solana.
I don't think you could offer me any money for my dog. I love my dog.
I got 100,000 cash.
Take him.
Hey,
Peace up. A-Town down. Yeah. Okay.
All righty, welcome back in. It's Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. Zach Gelbin for Mark Hochman on this Monday. We're on Giannis Antetokounmpo watch. We'll see if the Bucks star does get traded to the Miami Heat or the Boston Celtics by the end of the show. But we already know one superstar is coming to South Florida, and that is Brady Tkachuk, who's going to be joining Matthew Tkachuk as the Panthers try to win another Stanley Cup. Eddie Olczyk does a great job, NHL on TNT. He joins us on the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, toyotaofhollywood.com. Edzo, appreciate the time. How are you, my friend?
I'm fine, Zach. Nice to be with you guys. Thanks for having me. And a busy hockey weekend, and I think it's only the beginning now with the draft right around the corner for the National Hockey League, and a little bit of earth-shaking movement there between Ottawa and Florida. Not surprised, but a hell of a pickup by Bill Zito and the Florida Panthers. So lots to talk about, so thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on. The Panthers, clearly the definition of success. And when you have a lot of success, maybe some people think there won't be that much aggressiveness. I know it was a down season because of the injuries last year for the Panthers. Yep. But just to see them be this super duper aggressive and get Tkachuk's brother here, just how about the reaction on that?
Well, you're picking up, in my opinion, without question, a top 15 forward in the entire National Hockey League. And when you can add a player like Brady to a team that knows how to win, can play any style you want, he becomes the prototypical Florida Panther, because he's very good offensively. He's a big body. He can play in the trenches, and he's not afraid to try to separate somebody from the puck. And he just is that type of a player. And I am surprised, Zach, that Ottawa did not get a rostered player off of the Florida Panthers, meaning a warm body. Now, I get that they got a bunch of draft picks and what have you. Now, they freed up a lot of money when Brady got traded. So, maybe they're going to try to be active in the trade market and whatever. But I just think that, to me, this is an incredible move by the Florida Panthers. And you talk about stars. Florida's got a couple of them now. Obviously, the Tkachuk brothers. You got Barkov there. This team is going to be trying to get to where they were the last 3 years before this last season, and that's competing for another Stanley Cup. Now, the question is what's going to end up happening in goal. Are they going to be able to re-sign Bob, or are they going to take another swing for the fences and bring in another goaltender that's maybe under contract with another team? So, to me, this is just a great move by Vinny and Teresa Viola and the Florida Panthers, and obviously Bill Zito, the man in charge there.
Eddie Olczyk here with us.
Okay. My bad.
Sorry, Edzo, this is what we're working with. Channing Crowder, former Miami Dolphin, had his microphone muted, and he was trying to turn my mic on. Nothing was coming out of his mouth. Go ahead, Channing.
Ed, is Bill special? Like, we love Bill Zito down here because of what we've seen over the last 3 years. Is he a special GM like this? It's everything he does. I know he moved Ekblad and different things we didn't like, Huberdeau and all that, but it all comes together at the end, and we end up winning two cups. Is he a special GM?
Yeah, I mean, I think what he has done is he has the wherewithal to have the support of ownership to stand up and take some swings. And some are going to work out, some aren't. You could question length of some contracts and money handed out, but when you go to 3 cups in a row, I think that's all any fan base and any ownership group would want, is that your boss, your head of hockey operations, whatever the title may be, is that they give you a chance to compete for the Stanley Cup. And they've done that. And last year, look, it was a brutal year right from the start, with the Barkov injury, and that derailed the team without question. And then, you had Matthew Tkachuk banged up, and there were a couple of other guys that were just finding a way to get into the lineup and play. So I think that they handled it extremely well as the season went on. And sometimes you just got to play the hand that's dealt. And sometimes you got to just look at your cards, you take a hit, and then you just say, you know what, we're going to fold. And I think that that's what the Florida Panthers did. They read the room very well. And let's make it perfectly clear, like this year, like this coming year, like they're in it to be where they were the last 3 seasons prior to this last year. And they got a terrific coach in Paul Maurice. They got a terrific staff. And but the expectations are for Bill Zito is that, as long as they get the thumbs up from Vinny and Teresa, that they're going to, that they're going to be in it. They're going to be aggressive. And I think that's why so many players, especially with the success they've had, so many players want to play in Florida, and that's including Tampa, because Tampa's had a hell of a run for, a long stretch and always competitive. So it's, there's a lot of respect for Bill Zito, but I think it all starts at the top, because there are owners in a lot of sports that don't allow their managers or the head of operations, regardless of the sports, to be able to do what they want to do. And if they're not willing to spend money, you're going to need a lot of things to go right in order to have success.
And in terms of the product on the ice, this is the right move for the Panthers, right? Because obviously you go out, you get a big name like Brady Tkachuk, and for the obvious reasons, because we have Matthew down here, like everybody's enamored with this move. And anytime you get a name like that, you're going to be happy with it. But in terms of longevity for this team, not just this upcoming season, but down the line, they tied up a bunch of money to Brad Marchand. We'll see what happens with Sergei Bobrovsky, but the Panthers have gone all in on this core. That's the right move and decision here by Zito, right? To just maximize this core and then worry about the lack of draft capital whenever it is that you run into that problem down the line.
Yeah, I think you saw that once last year. I mean, they tried to make the playoffs. They did, but just eventually the team ran out of gas. I mean, you got a lot of players that played in the Olympics. You had no Barkov. I mean, it's well documented, but I think they handled it well. And look, they could have easily went the other way after last year or during last year. They could easily went the other way and just said, you know what, we're going to retool here. We got some guys, we got some guys that have a lot of value, and, maybe there's an opportunity to retool on the fly, but they said, you know what, no, we're back in it. I mean, I had a conversation, and I'm in I do a lot of horse racing for NBC, Triple Crown coverage in the Breeders' Cup, and I had a talk with Vinny Viola, after they had missed the playoffs, and I got the sense, again, these are my words, not his, is that like the expectation is they're going for another Stanley Cup, and this move obviously sends those messages out to the fan base and to the National Hockey League, is that like we feel that its window is absolutely wide open, and you're gonna have a problem if you're in the Eastern Conference. You're gonna have a problem getting the Stanley Cup final, because you did the road to the Stanley Cup, without a question. And I haven't, even though I'm up on this stuff, I've been a little busy today, but I got to imagine that Florida with this move today would have at least moved up, in my opinion, into the top 2 of winning the Stanley Cup, the top 2 favorites to win the Stanley Cup. Like that's how big of a move that I think this is now. Again, the question and goal is what's going to end up happening in the blue paint. That is a concern, but I feel, however it works out, I still think that the Florida Panthers are going to be a team to beat in order to for somebody else to win the Stanley Cup.
Eddie Olczyk here with us, and you just saw this past year, Carter Hart returns to the sport. He gets hot. They go on a great run. Vegas, the Hurricanes had to make a goalie change in the Stanley Cup final. So I just kind of look at it, Eddie Olczyk, as great as Bob has been. I saw Elliot Friedman say today it's unlikely that he's going to be back with the Panthers. They'll just find a way to make it work with whoever's in net, because of how great this team is there in front of him on the ice, whoever the goalie may be.
Yeah, I mean, you can, like I said, they can find ways to win different ways. You want to play 6-5? Sure, we'll raise our hands. We'll play that way. You want to play a 2-1 game? Yeah, we're going to raise our hands to that. You want you want to end up out in the back alley, and yeah, sure, we'd love to do that too. So they have that ability to be able to do that, and that's not, a lot of teams are not built that way. It doesn't mean you're going to win. Now, as Panther fans know, like, to get the 3 straight Stanley Cups, I mean, that's pretty incredible stuff. And you do need some luck. You need to stay healthy, and you need the path to be that is advantageous, where you get some matchups and you're able to end series, like they did a couple of times against Carolina and Tampa. They swept. I remember I was doing a series for TNT. I mean, they swept them. So, you need it's hard to win. Like, it is hard to win in the National Hockey League. But I think for the Florida Panthers, whatever the decision is, even if they just come back with as is, they're to me, they're the favorites in the Eastern Conference. I mean, all due respect to the Carolina Hurricanes. I mean, Florida becomes the team to beat. There is no question. I felt before this move is that they were one of the top 2 or 3 for sure in the Eastern Conference. Now with this move with Brady Tkachuk, this to me just takes them to another level. And once they figure out who the goaltending is, it will be fine. That they'll be able to they'll be very competitive. That's not. I don't believe if they don't make a run next year, it's not because I don't believe it will be because of the lack of goaltending.
And we actually do have breaking news, Eddie Olczyk, and this is cool for the Tkachuk family. Not only you get Matthew and Brady together, it just got announced that Keith Tkachuk is going to the Hockey Hall of Fame. So how could it be any better of a Father's Day weekend into Monday for him?
Yeah, pretty special. Full disclosure, I am a member of the committee for the Hockey Hall of Fame. I'm actually in Toronto trying to get back home to Chicago right now. We spent the weekend here, and I've been a part of the committee for the last 2 seasons, and it's been, it's an honor to be able to have this, this privilege of, trying to figure out who's going into the Hockey Hall of Fame. And, I played with Keith Tkachuk a couple of different times when he first came into the National Hockey League in the early 90s and with the Winnipeg Jets. I'm proud to say I gave him his nickname Big Walt, so that stuck with him his whole hockey career, and I couldn't be more happy for him and his family. And you're right. I mean, look at this last, less than 24 hours for the Tkachuk family with, Brady getting a chance to play with his brother and obviously Big Walt going into the Hockey Hall of Fame. I mean, it's a heck of a class, and it's just it's an interesting process, and it's been probably one hell of a weekend for the Tkachuks that they'll probably never forget.
The Tkachuk family is very special. Adio, the most disrespected holiday in the history of time is Father's Day. Do you agree?
Well, I have to answer it this way, where instead of being home with my 4 kids and my 4 grandkids and my wife and my father, I was up here in Toronto for the Hockey Hall of Fame.
And then talking to us knuckleheads.
So, yeah, well, I think it's awesome. I wish I could have been at home. But I felt a lot of respect and a lot of love from afar yesterday. But hopefully when I get home, they'll still remember me once I get home here in a couple of hours.
By the way, Edzo, you got to be careful because now you're getting introduced to Channing Crowder, former Dolphins linebacker. He's going to be hitting you up for horse picks because he loves to gamble, Crowder.
Oh, I'm on it. What place was it? Show, place, and take or something like that? I gamble it.
Yeah, well, you know what? You guys want to have me on before the Kentucky Derby? I'm one of the handicappers for the Kentucky Derby, and actually this year we gave out the exacta in the Derby. We gave out the ice cold winner in the Preakness and the ice cold exacta, and hopefully we can. When you guys have me on next time, maybe we can give out a couple of winners to everybody down there in South Florida.
Gilby, slide me that number, Gilby.
You're booked. You're booked 325 next year.
You know what? F that, Edzo. Let's get Channing on a horse. Let's make him be a jockey. It'd be fun.
No, Jack. I'm terrified of horses.
We got to make sure we get some silks that are a little bit larger than the normal size silks for jockeys.
Horses look at me. You better not get your big ass on top of me. Yeah, I'm good, brother. Thank you. Have a good one.
Eddie Olczyk does a great job. NHL on TNT. You can also check him out through all the year talking horses on NBC. Appreciate you carving out some time for us today. What's a very busy day for the Panthers reacting to the Tkachuk trade.
No problem, guys. Thanks for having me, and look forward to chatting with you guys, somewhere here down the road. So have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
There you go. Eddie Olczyk joining us right there on Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. Zach Gelbin for Mark Hochman. Yeah.
You had the cheat code on horse racing and hadn't even gave it to us?
Crazy,
so
man.
Edzo has been so benevolent to me. When I was doing this stuff in high school, I texted him when I was doing like a web show the day of the Stanley Cup final, like, hey, do you have 10 minutes? He goes, yeah, call me like an hour and a half before the game. He's doing the game with Mike Doc Emmerich and gave me 15 minutes before game 7 of a Stanley Cup final. I think it was Vancouver and Boston, maybe. I think it was. But yeah,
Wow,
he's
that's
excellent
cool.
on the horses and excellent on the pucks. If you ever need a hockey and a horse racing guest and win some money, Eddie Olczyk.
You've been holding out, Gil.
There's a joke there to be made that I will not make for the sake of my relationship with Solana and my respect towards his fiance. We'll take a break. It is Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. Coming on back, more Tkachuk, more Giannis talk when we continue in a few minutes.
You're listening to the Hawk, Crowder, and Solana Show.
Any sandwich oblong is going to be better than a circular sandwich. That's just facts.
Alrighty, welcome back in. Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. Zach Gelb in for Mark Hochman on this Monday. Solana, I just saw Shams was on the ESPN NBA Today, and he said that Giannis Antetokounmpo is currently somewhere abroad. He is waiting to see what the Bucks are going to decide, but it's definitely down to Miami and Boston, and that's his expectation on where he's going to be dealt to one of those teams, and Shams is laying it out. How if the Bucks do acquire Jaylen Brown and they do the deal with the Celtics, that's a player that costs a whole lot of money, where the Miami Heat's offer, why it's appealing to them, it's younger, controllable assets and plus future draft capital. So we haven't really approached it from this way. Like, if I'm Milwaukee, do you want not a big contract commitment, which means you don't get as good of a player, and you just reset with younger guys that are cost-controllable deals and more draft picks? Or do you want Jaylen and then hope more people will come to build around Jaylen in the future?
I know, Gilby, I know you're not a big fan of Jaylen Brown because you were very critical of him.
I just don't like his attitude.
Get a asset, get a star, get an all-star, get an NBA Finals MVP on your team and figure it out from there. That's my opinion. We tried to do the let's see what happens and let's Precious Achua. Oh, let's see what Tyler Hero. Let's go draft some good guys and see if we can build something. Go get a dog and then get some puppies and see if the dog can play with them. You have to have a star in this league to win.
I don't disagree with that, Crowder. I genuinely don't. The only thing I would say to that is that Jaylen Brown is on the books for $57 million this upcoming season, $61 the following, and then $64 in 28, 29. No, and I'm not hating on that. He is going to want and will be eligible for a contract extension, another 2-year extension, which my guess is he would want to obviously pick that up wherever he ends up, if he ends up wanting to be in Milwaukee long term. But the Bucks, let's not forget, have a lot of money on their books. They're going to owe Miles Turner $27 and then $28 million over the next 2 seasons. Plus, they're paying Damian Lillard $22 million for the next 4 seasons because they waived and then stretched his contract. So they're going to be limited in terms of how much they can put around Jaylen Brown, at the very least in the immediate future. So it's just something to consider here, what it is the Milwaukee Bucks would rather do. Would they rather go the draft route over the next 1 or 2 seasons and rebuild it that way, stay a little bit more flexible, rather than having a lot of money, almost $250 million hooked onto 3 players, one of which isn't even on their team, coming up in the next season because it's Damian Lillard and he's in Portland?
You know what's also fascinating here? And I know Stan Kroenke, he owns the Rams, the Nuggets, and the Avalanche. Jimmy Haslam is the owner of the Milwaukee Bucks. He also owns the Cleveland Browns. He just traded Myles Garrett to the Rams. And then you also have him trading now Giannis Antetokounmpo from the Bucks. So how about Jimmy Haslam, who also acquired Deshaun Watson a few years ago and gave him a guaranteed contract, which was just an idiotic contract to give to someone like Deshaun Watson. It's fascinating, all the moves that Haslam has been a part of and is going to be a part of once the Bucks do finally say it's going to be Miami or Boston for Giannis.
Yeah. Well, we didn't know we didn't know the massage parlor situation at the time, Gail.
No, you did. No, when they traded for him, he did. They just looked at him and said, "Hey, we're going to go get a franchise quarterback," but they didn't realize that Deshaun Watson's body broke down and he forgot how to play the position.
I agree with you 100%. These deals are made over a bottle of wine. All these rich people know each other. I really believe that. All this stuff is done sitting at Prime 112 in a private room, and then it comes out in the media.
By the way, I'm supposed to tonight. I'm in New York for people that don't know. Last year, I was supposed to go to a Mets game with a client from the fan in New York, an Odyssey station, and the game got rained out. It's supposed to be in a luxury box. You said it's 94 and sunny in Florida. Mm-hmm. It's about 70 and pouring right now. I'm supposed to go with that same client this year, maybe 2 years in a row, talking about rich people getting together in a box and eating all food. Not me, but him, that he could get screwed out of this. Jeez.
I've been in some rooms where I look around and I'm like, man, there's about $4 billion in this room. And they got my goofy ass in here sitting around talking about fishing. And yeah, it's the weirdest thing in the world, but that's where deals are made. I've seen them done already all the time.
Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. I thought Solana was about to say something.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've never been in a room with people making $4 billion, Gelb. I got to be honest.
Neither have I.
I just the idea of going to a Mets game just makes my skin crawl. I mean, to be around all those New Yorkers, I'm good.
There's no New Yorkers there. No one goes. I'm going to be like one of 4 people in the game.
Hey,
no one cares about the Mets right now. They suck.
Gil, have you ever heard my Stephen Ross story when I first met Stephen Ross?
No. Did he say, "Who are you"?
I walk up to him. I'm on the team. He just buys the team. He comes out to practice, and he's standing on sideline. And Solana and Hawk have a problem with this. I walked up to him, and I said, "What's up, big dog?" And I dapped him up, like cool dap up. And they were like, "That's not what you do to a billionaire owner." I thought it was. I thought it was relatable.
How'd he take it? Did he cut you the next day?
No, he cut me a year later. Maybe it was in the works.
He was like, "Who's the big dog now?" He's like, "I am the big dog." You go start that radio career, you bloviating jackass, you Channing Crowder, so loquacious.
What up, big dog? You good, baby, man? Appreciate you, man. He was paying me well.
Was that when Saban was running the team?
No. What did Ross buy when Parcells and them took over?
That was Jeff Ireland that cut you, right?
Yeah, Jeff Ireland cut me.
Yeah.
How did that go?
I cussed him out.
Oh, did you really?
Happens to be great.
Now it was cut.
A great story. We could tell that story if you want later, because Crowder refused to leave. He wanted He wanted his check.
They owed me $250,000 workout bonus, and they were going to send it to me. They mail it to you. Back then, now they do direct deposit. Back in the day, they would give you or mail you a paper check. I didn't want to leave the building and this is so silly now. I look back on it. I wasn't leaving the building until I got my quarter meal.
Well, you never know with Ireland because, like, remember Jeff Ireland was the GM that asked Des Bryant, right, if like your mother's a prostitute or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, he was a goofball.
Yeah.
He used to find he fined me twice a month for just nothing. I just walk in, it'd be a pink slip on my chair. You've been fined for contract detrimental $5,000.
Well, what were you doing? Well, don't tell me nothing. What were you doing?
I would make fun of people in the crowd at away stadiums. I would.
Cares?
No, Gil, I'm on your side. No one cares. You're talking trash to me. I'm talking trash to you. Like, it's part of the sport. If anything got on his desk to have my name on it, he would find me at least $5,000 every single time.
Jeez, $5,000 just for talking a little smack.
One time I didn't even talk, Gil. One time a dude was calling me names, and I looked at the lady next to him, and I just put like the phone up to my ear and told her to call me.
Oh.
$5,000. I'm like, what? Since we were playing the Bengals, $5,000. Not even for saying a word, just telling the lady to call me.
That loud mouth of yours always gets you in trouble.
Man,
that's the bottom line of it.
I wouldn't be. I could retire if Jeff Ireland wasn't the GM. I could have retired by now.
Did Randy call you up and he's like, "Channing, just shut your bleeping pie hole, please. $5,000 down the drain. Shut up."
I can't do it, Gil.
I would love it. You ever see that? What's the movie? It's Mr. Deeds. I think when he starts owning the Jets, and like the quarterback starts mouthing off, and the dad like then calls the coach, has him apologize, and he's like, "No, Daddy, no." I could see that basically being the case when Randy heard that, and Randy was about to whip your ass.
Actually, my teammates loved it because then they could call on me. So like somebody, a dude or a fan or other, opposing team, they start yapping and they come up to be like, "Hey, C, what up, man? 72 out of pocket. Don't worry, I got him." So then I go get back on him. So now I'm taking all the smoke from everybody on the other team and letting my teammates play free because I'm a great teammate.
There you go. What a spin job. Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. About $45,000 down the drain. Zach Gelbin for Mark Hochman. We're coming on back with more Giannis talk next.
This is Hawk, Crowder, and Solana.
I used to spray paint raccoons and see if they come back in my yard after I catch them.
It's a great move.
Hochman, Crowder, and Solana on a Monday. Zach Gelbin for Hawk. We will get a Solana stock market report coming up in just a second. But I actually am going to defend Pat Riley here for a second, which I know is going to be a surprise to Solana. If the Heat don't get Giannis Antetokounmpo, I will actually not bash Pat Riley for this for one reason and one reason only. I was just watching Brian Windhorst on ESPN. And he was saying, you look at, as we were just talking about it, Jimmy Haslam being the owner of not only the Browns, but also the Milwaukee Bucks. He didn't make that move for Myles Garrett and trading, Myles Garrett until he got a player back for him, a proven player or a nice player in this league in Jared Verse. And he could have just got rid of Garrett and got all the draft capital in the world. He really believes that all along Boston knew they would have to give up Jaylen Brown. And this was coming down to the fact that if they gave up Jaylen Brown, there's nothing the Heat could do that could potentially top it. So in that case, with just the construction of the roster, if it came down to Tyler Hero up against Brown as the big part of this, I can't fault Pat because of just having Tyler and not having Jaylen Brown. Now it's all going to be about, assuming they lose out on Giannis Antetokounmpo, what plan B is here. And if the plan B isn't successful, then I think Pat Riley is deserving of criticism. And the time of his reign should be then coming to a close in Miami if he doesn't give you a good plan B.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, Gelb. Ultimately, to me, we had talked about this a little bit earlier, where the Bucks were going to hold this out until the deadline, right? Like, they had this self-imposed deadline for the NBA draft. And, Hochman had gone back and forth on this a little bit, where he was saying, like, look, the Heat offer just must not be enticing to them or exciting, because if it was at any point, they would have taken it. But from my understanding, they had no reason to take it because of this situation right now, which is the Celtics waited and finally decided, hey, you know what? Maybe we're comfortable giving up one of our superstars or one of our best players.
Especially when that superstar didn't want to be there and Jaylen wanted to go be a one somewhere else.
Correct. And maybe that relationship faded a little bit over the past week or two. And had the Bucks not waited, it just kind of removed some of the leverage that they had in this situation. So it's not that I don't fault the Heat front office, because, Gelb, at the end of the day, this is the position they should be in and ready for. And if they fail to land Giannis Antetokounmpo because of lack of assets, I do think you can go back to the last trade deadline and question whether or not they should have moved some pieces for more draft capital or another trade chip. You could go back to last offseason. Should they have made some moves rather than trying to build a roster that ultimately we can play the result was the 10 seed and missed the playoffs? Should they have been in a better position in terms of players that they could have traded for and draft capital to be in a better spot right now? And I think those are fair criticisms. Obviously, you play the result, but that's what we're going to end up doing, questioning if the Heat and the front office was ready for the reality of the NBA today, which is you don't land these types of players in free agency anymore. They don't hit the open market anymore. You have to be ready to win trade battles against other teams. And if the Heat can't win this trade battle, even though right now it's obvious they can't compete with a Jaylen Brown-led package, in my opinion, it's fair to criticize whether or not the Heat once again failed to properly acclimate themselves to the new climate of the NBA and how to acquire superstars.
Well, first off, Gelby, we have seen a precedent over the last 20 years, a precedent of what Pat Riley can do. They brought in Shaq, we win the championship.
Yeah.
Big three together, go to 4, win 2. Bring Jimmy Buckets in here, and we go to back-to-back. We go to finals. We don't win them, but we win the East. We've seen that we can do it. We're almost spoiled in this, spoiled in having Pat. So him to fail on Lillard and KD, and now if it's Giannis, it's like, hey, we go get the big dogs. Why can't we find another big dog? But to your point, Solana, Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Nikola Jovic, Precious Achiuwa, Tyler Hero. Those are the last first-round picks. They're not, we love them, but they're not big assets to the NBA. People don't look at them Like you're saying, Jaylen Brown's a big dog. These guys aren't big dogs. They're puppies. We're drafting puppies that aren't becoming monsters.
But to be fair, Crowder, where you're drafting those players is out of the lottery. And I know Crowder and I have gone back and forth on this, Gelb, for a long time. You look at the Heat's first round draft picks when available over the past, I don't know, decade or so, going back to when they drafted Bam Adebayo 14th overall, and then Tyler Hero a couple years later, 13th overall. Like, they've hit on those picks.
Yeah.
Jaime Jaquez Jr., you can't deny, at 20th overall was a solid pick at 20th overall. Go look at what the Lakers did picking right after Jaime Jaquez Jr. right before. I don't remember. Like, outside of the Precious Achiuwa pick over Tyrese Maxey, the Miami Heat have gotten solid value out of their first round picks compared to where they drafted them, right? Or taking into account where they drafted them, because they haven't had lottery selections outside of Tyler Hero. So when you say they're puppies, yeah, is it a lottery guy who right now is Devin Vassell or Stephon Castle? No, but you're also not picking 5th overall. So yeah, I mean, to me, it's more about the trade deadline, this past deadline, right? The Miami Heat were in a situation where they felt like they could keep their roster, get healthy, and go make a run in the playoffs. And ultimately, whether or not it was right that they felt that at the time when the Bucks pulled out of the Giannis chase, they still had time to move an Andrew Wiggins or to move a Norman Powell and potentially not lose Norman Powell for no draft capital, or potentially get back some sort of draft capital for Andrew Wiggins, who they might end up losing this offseason or next offseason. They opted against that because they didn't want to take that route, because they don't believe in that route. And that's what they believe in, and fine. But here you are in a situation where you could definitely use another first round pick. You could definitely use another quality player to throw into the mix. And maybe they're not going to end up getting Giannis because they lack those resources, and they've missed on opportunities to improve their overall package. And to me, that's where I think the criticism is 100% fair. When you're comparing the two deals on the table, can I fault Pat Riley in the sense that the Bucks will take a Jaylen Brown package over a Miami Heat package? No, because the Miami Heat don't have a player like Jaylen Brown. But can you go back and look at where the Miami Heat could have bolstered their potential trade package and then criticize that? To me, that's totally fair, knowing now for the last couple of years why the Miami Heat have missed out on those whales and what the landscape is in the NBA in terms of acquiring these types of players. And that's no longer through free agency. And I think that's where the Heat front office has struggled the most, kind of revitalizing the way or retooling the way that they acquire top talent. They haven't done a good job at it.
And I'll get to one more thing on this coming up after the break. I know we got to get the stock market report in. We got to do headlines right now. But I think there's a comparison where Heat fans, or some of them, are so caught up on something where previous history could show us that change is okay. I'll get to that in about 10 minutes. But Solana gives the stock market report first, and then also let's delve into headlines.
Yeah, the stock market report is sponsored by Enijar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Kind of a mixed day on Wall Street. Dow Jones, it gained about 0.2%. S&P 500 fell nearly 0.4%. And the NASDAQ, it dropped 1.3%. So kind of a mixed day on Wall Street. That stock market report sponsored by Enijar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Before I get to headlines, Gelb, I want to give out our World Football Scoreboard, or Football Scoreboard, brought to you by your local Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks is truly unmatched for every match, with 29-degree drafts of Michelob Ultra, spicy margaritas made with Casamigos, and unrivaled views all tournament. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and scenic views. Argentina won earlier. Messi scored a brace. He is now the all-time leader in goals scored by himself. He came in tied with former German national Mueller, and he scored 2 goals today despite missing a penalty. Could have had a hattie. Mexico, USA, Germany, and now Argentina with another group stage win. They are all through, the first 4 teams through to the round of 32. They have clinched their way into the knockout rounds. You do have a couple games coming up now over the next couple hours at 5 o'clock. So in a little less than an hour, France will play Iraq. Norway will play Senegal at 8, and Jordan, Algeria tonight at 11 p.m. Your headlines are sponsored by Doral Volkswagen, home of the Pricito, our lowest price. Visit us at Doral Volkswagen or at DoralVolkswagen.com. We're, as Gelb mentioned, we're just kind of waiting now to see what the Milwaukee Bucks end up doing. That's the latest on the Giannis Antetokounmpo front. It's the Celtics, it's the Heat. That's what all the reports are. We're just waiting, bro. That's all we're doing. We're waiting.
Later on in the show, we should all take a guess. Like the date, is it today or is it tomorrow, and the time, and like put like a little money in the pot and see who will get the closest. Gets like, let's throw like $10 each. You know?
Does the Heat have anything left to offer?
Yeah, Solana.
Can they, like, honestly, can the Heat up the ante at all? Like,
we got a pre-half and post guy. Get ready to talk Milwaukee, buddy.
No, Joe Crowder. One thing that surprised me today was that Shams Charania, I mean, he's been all over ESPN today, as you can imagine. But I think this was what he said on Pat McAfee show, which was, no matter what happens at this point, at this stage in the game, it's going to just be a 2-team trade. Whoever the Bucks choose, it's going to be a 2-team trade, is what he said.
And it could turn into more.
Right. It could ultimately turn into more. But what I expected, and I saw a lot of it, we talked about it on Friday, was that there were avenues for the Miami Heat, for example. There were some rumors on Saturday that it looked like Tyler Hero could potentially be traded to Detroit. And Detroit would trade a first-round pick for Tyler Hero, and that could add another trade chip for the Miami Heat to send to Milwaukee, which could kind of beef up the trade package, give Milwaukee another first-round pick. So I thought there was kind of that inner workings behind the scenes of a third, maybe fourth team being added to where, you know, Detroit might be interested in Tyler Hero. Some people were speculating Duncan Robinson could be shipped back to Miami to give them some extra three-point shooting along with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Plus, because Detroit would have to pay Tyler that extension, that they would be getting Duncan's extension off the books coming back to Miami. So I'm a little surprised about that Shams is saying, hey, this is just going to come down to Boston or Miami straight up with the Milwaukee Bucks, because I thought there would be other teams, Gelb, genuinely chomping at the bit to get into this as well, because to me, it makes sense, right? Like there's a lot of different moving parts here that other teams could be interested in.
Well, that's why I think it makes even more sense why I believe it's going to be Boston, because there was also that belief, Jaylen Brown didn't want to go to Milwaukee, and that was a holdup there, or the Bucks didn't want Jaylen Brown. Now it seems like the Bucks actually do want to keep on to Jaylen Brown. So if it's trending towards, I hate to go Windhorse fingers here, if it's trending towards now it's just going to be a 1-for-1 deal, and you have Jaylen Brown and the Bucks now wanting that to be a marriage, what does that tell you? It means Pat Riley got to transition into plan B.
Why would they do that?
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
Channing asked me for $50 when he's a rich man. Why would he do that? He lost too much money gambling on Eddie Olczyk's horses.
Man, I need that number if he's calling out the exactas. I need it. That's what I'm just like. You got to have something to go back at him with, though. Like you have to put more on the table. So
there's
to
nothing
hear
left.
that
They threw the kitchen sink, the Heat. There's nothing left.
Gelby, so I meet my wife, take her out to dinner. She really doesn't want to talk to me. Take her out again, take her to a nicer restaurant. No action.
Yeah.
I had to go mow her grandfather's lawn to get her really interested. Whose lawn can we mow to get Giannis down here?
Channing,
up the ante.
Channing just said it's 10 inches. You know that? And she said, okay, I'm in.
10. Ain't nowhere around 10.
Man, this Gelb is vulgar, huh? Buck powder?
I don't know what 10. My mom,
you know what it is? Because I do that other show on YouTube where I can just curse and say whatever I want. And that like unleashes part of me. I get on this show and I'm like, I know I can't curse, but I can stretch it a little bit. Like if Sid Rosenberg used to do Miami and radio and do radio in Miami and could say all those things, like, come on, I'm like PG compared to him.
Oh, yeah. I started with Sid.
Yeah.
That was one of my first radio jobs, working with Sid.
Vic Bermudez is eye all later and all that.
Yep. He was the producer. Vic was the producer. Sid, we went to Dallas Super Bowl together. Sid is a very interesting human being.
Yeah. A lot of things you want to forget and a lot of things he did forget.
The same way people think the moon landings are fake, I happen to believe 10 is fake as well. Doesn't exist on this planet. Can't exist.
You watch the videos.
Nah, can't exist. That's
You've seen the
CGI.
videos, you nasty
CGI.
little boy. You've seen the
CGI.
videos.
CGI.
That's why Solana's fiance is going to that 2 p.m. concert.
2 p.m. concert. Have a good time, babe.
You know, now that you mention it, her
She comes coming back, walking all limping and everything. I was really dancing at that show.
Solana, she's going to get straight in the shower when she gets home. You're going to be so hot.
Come shower with me, babe.
Nah, I'm good, babe.
her GPS tracker is off. Now that you guys mention it,
She turned off that location, Solana.
Yeah,
you need
Oh,
to,
my
man.
phone died, babe.
Solana, you got to do some research, Solana. There's no 2 p.m. concerts. On a Monday at 2 p.m. concert.
I love the laugh by Solana because he's like, ha ha, oh yeah, he may be right.
A Monday 2 p.m. concert. It's some music playing.
man, you're downplaying the way I throw it down, bro. You're downplaying.
It's some music playing, Solana, but it ain't a concert.
This is pretty cool. Dusty May, former South Florida legend, is finalizing a deal to take the Dallas Mavericks head coaching job. So he says, hasta luego to Michigan. And he's going to Dallas. He'll coach a pretty good young player with the Dallas Mavericks and Cooper Flagg.
Yeah, and you also got Masai Ujiri running the show there. So some
That's
stability now finally with the Mavs.
Yeah,
Oh,
I forgot
wow.
about that. Yeah.
I mean, that's interesting.
Yeah, if only they still had Jalen Brunson and Luka Doncic, but hey, whatever. I guess that ship has sailed.
Would you trade Spo for
Shut up.
for Cooper
shut up.
Flagg?
No.
Ooh. That's a good question, Solana. Don't
It's
just
a
say
terrible
no.
question. Terrible question.
It's an easy yes. Someone don't want to lose their job on the radio.
Automatic, yes.
And I don't want to give short shrift to either the Panthers or the Miami Marlins here to wrap up headlines because the Florida Panthers have traded for Brady Tkachuk. Massive trade yesterday. Blockbuster trade for the Florida Panthers. Zito is at it again. And the Miami Marlins are above 500. They've won 8 straight, right, Jimmy? 8 straight at home for the first time since, I believe, 2009. The Tartan Army will take over Lone Depot Park tonight. First pitch, 6:40 p.m. Marlins on deck get started at 6 p.m. It's the Marlins and the Rangers.
Are
Your weather-
Scottish people, are they nice?
Very nice.
Yeah, they're not American, so probably, yeah.
No, are they like, I know they drink a lot, but like, are they pleasant drunks?
Very my uncle's Scottish. Pleasant guy. Can't understand a word he's ever said to me my entire life. 32 years. I've talked to him about everything. Have no idea what he's talking to me about, but just a pleasant guy.
You have a diverse family background, Solana. Like
I do.
I feel like any person we bring up, it's like, oh yeah, they're my family.
Yeah.
Uncle Bobby lives in Rochester, straight from Scotland. Uncle Bulbe. Big Celtic fan, eh?
Solana was born in Ghana.
You take an edible before the show, Crowder? Jeez.
He knows everything about everything. Gelb, he's lying. He doesn't have an Uncle Scotty.
Uncle Bulbe. Uncle Bulbe. Of course I do.
He doesn't. He
I
lies.
I'll bet whatever you want on it. Whatever you want.
You have a Scottish Uncle Bobby.
Yeah. Uncle Bulbe.
Yeah, Solana. It sounds real Scottish if you ask me, right?
On what side?
My mom's side.
That was
family
quick. I believe him. He was quick on that.
My mom's side, that Aunt Mary. You met Aunt Mary. Her sister, who's my Aunt Kathy, is married to Bobby, who was born in Scotland, came to the U.S. like 30 years ago. Dude, he drinks all day. I almost cursed. Effing legend. Just
rubbing off on him.
Just drinks, and loves his Celtic football. And dude's a legend, man. Oh, I love him. Can't understand a word he says, but I love him. Great guy.
Well,
You know any Greeks?
No Greeks.
That's
No
why the
Greeks.
Heat aren't getting Giannis.
That's cute.
well.
Your weather.
All my
in
uncles
South
are
Florida.
dead.
Well, that's like sad now.
Yeah. Diabetes, Gelby.
Ah,
Yeah.
my condolences.
No problem. No feet in the Crowder family.
I guess that's why your career ended with no legs. Just cut to the chase. We know the feet are gonna go. Let's just take off the whole leg now.
Just take off the whole leg. Let's not waste time.
It's 94 degrees, awkward transition of weather. 94 degrees in Miami. This weather report is brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting. Storm season is coming. Make sure your home is ready. Get your free roof and window estimate today. Visit tornadoroofing.com.
Get your fruit.
Get your fruit.
Take some strawberries. It's Hochman Crowder and Solana right here on 104.3 FM WQAM. We'll get the train back on track coming on back after this.
You're listening to the Hawk, Crowder, and Solana Show.
Anybody want Carol Snooker's number?
Got 'cause you're only a man.
Yo, Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. Zach Gelbin for Mark Hochman. So I was talking about this right before we went to break, and I teased it for the other side. You look at the Miami Heat. I have been on the record of saying that maybe it should be time to start thinking about the end for Pat Riley. I'm not going to crush him if they don't get Giannis, because if the Celtics are willing to give up Jaylen Brown, there's nothing the Heat could do. If the second part of this, like the plan B, you don't get Giannis, and whoever then you do get doesn't excite me, then I think it's fair to have a Pat Riley conversation. And there's been two enormous franchises in sports where they quickly have improved their team since getting rid of the franchise legend, whether it's been in the coaching department or if it's been in the front office. You look at the Patriots, right? You can't get rid of Bill Belichick. And I was like, no, you can. I know that they eventually went to Gerard Mayo. It didn't work. Then they got Mike Vrabel. Boom. They were back in a Super Bowl year one with Mike Vrabel. And look at the Spurs. I know it was unfortunate with Pop, with the health scenario, with the stroke, but they move him into a front office role, and you have Mitch Johnson coaching the team. And the next thing you know, I know it helps when you get a Victor Wembanyama, but they are in the NBA Finals this year. I know there's going to be some Heat fans that are like, get rid of Pat. Then there's going to be some like Solana. No, you let Pat Riley decide when he wants to walk away. You bring in a new coach. I'm not saying Spo. You bring in a new executive, like someone to run the franchise, and you have them get that next young player. It could end up working where that's the best road to transition into this new thing where the Heat that end up becoming a force once again in the NBA.
And Solana, but Gil, Solana, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's going to be Nick Harrison, right? Whenever Pat does, and I think Pat's going to, at some point, and let me make it clear. Pat leaves when Pat wants to leave. I love Pat Riley. He's given me 3. I was down here the entire time. He leaves when he wants to leave. But it's already in the works that Nick Harrison is going to take over. And he was sitting around Pat the whole time. Is it going to be better, or is he going to be a young Pat and do what Pat does, the same approach? Because he learned how to be a GM, basketball operations president, and all that. He learned it from Pat Riley.
I know I sound like a broken record when we have these conversations, but I think it's always worth noting that this isn't Pat Riley with carte blanche over every decision that gets made. I know he's the figurehead, and I know, the Pat Riley is asleep at the wheel memes are funny. But the idea that Pat Riley is single-handedly running all facets of the Miami Heat front office, like if by now you don't know that that's not true, you're doing yourself a disservice by having these. And I'm not talking about you, Gelb. I'm just speaking.
I got generally. Skin. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. Don't worry. It's just not a real conversation to have. With that being said, from my understanding, Crowder, to answer your question, from my understanding, and I'm just listening to people who are more in the know than I am, Barry Jackson, Ethan Skolnick, Anthony Chang, the people who are really inside, who have these connections, from my understanding, Nick Harrison would be next in line to be the president of basketball operations for the Miami Heat. But again, I don't know. I haven't had a conversation with any of these guys. I don't know that to be sure. That's just my understanding. But he has a seat at the table. Nick Harrison does. That is 100%. So now, and I'm not saying it's to a point of contention, but you have the alpha in Pat, and then we know with the last name Harrison what that means. Wouldn't he just say, hey, here are the keys. Time to drive. Maybe he's riding shotgun. You get ready to drive. You get some reps in the front seat, and there's a lot of reps in the front seat. Just let him drive at this point.
But again, that the idea of, hey, you miss out on Giannis, it's time for Pat Riley to retire. To me,
I didn't say that.
Off, right? I know, but to me, it comes off as Pat Riley failed. Pat Riley, the person, failed single-handedly, and I don't think that is necessarily fair. To me, if the Miami Heat don't land Giannis Antetokounmpo, it's more of an organizational setback than it is a Pat Riley setback at this point. And again, call me a Heat homer all you want, but I don't think I'm being a Heat homer in this case. I'm putting it on not just one person. I'm putting it on everybody who has a say in the decision-making process. That's Andy Ellisberg, the general manager, who we know is a cap guru. That is Nick Arison. That is Mickey Arison, the owner. That's everybody who has a decision in the decision-making process, who has a say in the decision-making process, who failed again at this point to have the necessary assets to win another trade battle with another team for another superstar. And if you want to make Pat Riley the figurehead because he's the one who comes out and has the end of season press conference, fine, go ahead. I'm not going to hate on you for it. But again, it's just disingenuous. Like, this isn't Pat Riley making every single decision single-handedly by himself. It's just not anymore.
But Solana, you can't. Any team that's successful, whoever hired, to Gelb's point, whoever hired Mike Vrabel, like, there's other people involved, but there's somebody that has to take accountability for everything that happens. We were hitting home runs for a decade. Home run in Shaq, home run in Bosch and Braun, home run in Jimmy. We're used to home runs. You can't come out here and hit singles when we've seen you hit home runs for 2 decades.
No, they're not even hitting singles right now. They're not even. They're swinging and they're missing.
You can't strike out.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that. Like, yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. But
nobody's. If Giannis doesn't come in Solana, nobody's gonna say, "Oh, this Nick Arison."
No,
here we go.
The public perception is going to be Pat, and that's my point.
It is.
Right now, it's like Pat's still getting all the heat, but there's other people in play here. Just give it all to Nick. I'm not saying this offseason, it would be a year from now. If I look at the plan B and go, hey, that's not good enough, then, hey, Pat, we love you. Let's make this full transition.
But what is the harm? Here's what I don't understand about this, because, Crowder, you're looking for a single person to blame. And I don't understand why it has to be that way. I understand we do that in sports, right? But in certain front offices, the Miami Dolphins, for example, they hired a general manager in John Eric Sullivan. And he is going to be the decision maker with all the power to draft players, hire coaches, hire the coaching staff. He's the decision maker. And I understand we view it from that lens. And for a long time, I think that's the way the Miami Heat operated. And I think that's the way Pat Riley wanted it to be perceived, by the way. But what is the difference between now finding one figurehead to point the blame at, or to just point the blame at all the decision makers, everybody who has a seat at the table?
Because we don't know. Like, you don't know. I guarantee you this, and it would be a real shame because Pat deserves a whole lot better than this. Let me make this crystal clear. If, let's say, they got rid of Pat Riley.
But they're not going to, Gelb.
I don't think they are, but hold on. But if they do next offseason, then Arison's going to run, Nick Arison. It's going to be a hit piece. We disagreed on this. We disagreed on that. This is why we didn't get the moves. I know you're saying it won't be. I don't guarantee you that will be the case. I never thought my organization in New England was going to wind up with the owner, Robert Kraft, hating Belichick, Brady hating Belichick. It all comes out when you got the alphas in play with these egos.
I hear you, and I understand what you're saying. That tends to be the situation. Breakups in sport, especially breakups after a long tenure
with success,
are rarely ever amicable, and they're rarely ever happy breakups. One, I don't think there's ever going to be a situation where the Miami Heat are kicking Pat Riley to the curb. I just don't think that that's ever going to happen. And on top of that, I believe that Nick Arison, Pat Riley, Mickey Arison, Andy Ellisberg, Adam Simon, Eric Spoelstra, Alonzo Mourning, they genuinely are all aligned in the vision of how they run this team. I'm sure there's differences along the way, but I believe they're aligned in their philosophy. I believe that. I could be wrong, but I believe that. No. So the way Pat Riley approaches this this trade situation, and the way Pat Riley has approached the last couple of years of refusing to, whether you call it tank or reset or however you want to phrase it, I believe whoever steps in next, pick the guy that I just mentioned, they're going to run it the same way, because the organization has told you time and time again, that's what they believe, and that's how they're going to run it.
Pat Riley sets that standard in that building. That's what I don't think you're getting, Solana. They have learned everything they know about basketball from Pat Riley. Arison, all them dudes, they do it the Pat Riley way. That's why he get blamed. That's why he has the success. That's why we respect him. But if you lose a game, you're going to be blamed. If you win a game, you're going to be blamed. But you have to put it on Pat Riley, because all of them learned basketball through him.
I'll just make this point. I know we got to get to break, but the day when Pat's no longer with this organization, there's been a theory that Spo would want to move into the front office. Nick Harrison's going to win that battle. What happens if Spo then goes up? I want to go elsewhere. That's something I've thought of. That's when you'll learn how much of the Pat Riley way is still there.
I think if Pat leaves, or I don't think he leaves. I think they give him some other name. They make up a job for him like they did UD, like they do a lot of guys that are there. Zoe has a name. They pay him a couple $1 million a year.
When he's not calling
Pat's going to be a part of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he'll stop calling the shots, but he's in the building. And to what I was just telling Solana, they're still going to walk down that hallway and ask Pat what we should do. Pat is going to run that building as long as he wants to.
All righty, Hochman, Crowder, and Solana, we're coming on back after these short messages right here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
If your garage door is outdated, damaged, or not hurricane ready, don't wait. You got to call Allied Doors. Listen, it's hurricane season. It's hot as all get up outside, and you know that rain is coming. You got to call Allied Doors. Get them garage doors right. Service South Florida since 1966. That's 60 years of trusted family-owned service. If I'm calling you out or you know the neighbor, I know beautiful home, beautiful, well-kept garage doors. Don't be that person anymore. Use Allied Doors to protect and upgrade your home. Huge in-stock inventory, same-day service, custom impact-rated doors that are going to protect and upgrade your home. And the LiftMaster openers. When I was a kid, I thought every garage door took 45 seconds to open, and they're loud. LiftMasters are built to perform. They are the best. Opens quick and they're quiet. You got to do it. My personal home I'm in right now, my wife's investment properties, we use Allied Doors. Y'all got to give Allied Doors a call today, 954-942-8550. That's 954-942-8550, or visit allieddoors.com. Mention this ad and we'll give you $300 off this upgrade and this protection for your home. Don't wait. Call Allied Doors today.
This is Hawk, Crowder, and Solana.
What about FD Florida and FD Sun?
How about FU?
5 o'clock, Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. Zach Gelbin for Mark Hochman. 5 o'clock, Funky Buddha Happy Hour is brought to you by our friends at Funky Buddha Brewery. Good vibes on tap. It's kind of crazy to me, by the way, just knowing how important the Heat are and how trusted the Heat were in this town. Like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, if I said, who's the most trusted team in Miami? It's without hesitation, it's the Miami Heat. Now you look at it, it has to be the Florida Panthers because we're sitting here all show discussing the Heat probably aren't going to get Giannis now. It's down to the Heat and the Celtics, but the conventional thought is it's going to be Boston because of the Jaylen Brown component of this. And you look at the Panthers, they went back-to-back Stanley Cups. Then they had a bad season this past year, which wasn't even like abysmal, but it was just because of all the injuries. And they go out there and be super duper aggressive and get Matthew Tkachuk's brother, Brady Tkachuk. It's not even close. Vinny Viola, Zito, Maurice, and this group, they're the most trusted team in this town. And you could even make the case the Heat maybe even be going to third because look at the Miami Hurricanes now. They got to prove it longer, but what they did this past year and now, right, and even 2 years ago, Cam Ward into the quarterback last year, Carson Beck, and now you have Darian Mensah with Tony and Fletcher. Whew, what a time we are in Miami sports, just seeing some of the changes to the top.
Success spoils you, Gelby. That's what happens. Success spoils you. You go through decades of being on top, thinking you can win a championship every year, and if you just go to the play-in, we're not a play-in team. We're a playoff team. We're a championship roster. Miami Hurricanes go to the championship last year. You know what I'm saying? The Panthers win 2 out of 3. Success spoils people, and we've been spoiled by the Heat, and now the Panthers, and now the Canes seem like they're about to start spoiling us.
And Channing, we go from successful. You walked right into the trap. It's perfect. I appreciate you helping me out here. We're going to be in line here. We go from successful to then disaster. Hey, Solana, how about your soccer team?
Ah, that's cute, Gelby.
How about
cute.
your soccer team? Little tie in that little World Cup.
I can't even make it to drop my son at workouts. I got an Uber. I don't even have gas in my car.
That's on you, bro. At no point have I told you to bet Uruguay to win. At no point have I felt confident about this Uruguayan side. I just thought it'd be cool for you guys to adopt Uruguay because I'm Uruguayan and because they were playing 2 games here, but it didn't mean you should be out there putting your mortgage on this roster full of buffoons that I support.
Solana, I adopted them. If I adopt a child, I got to feed them. I got to support them. I got to put them in private school. They don't deserve food or private school.
So you went to the game the other day, Solana?
I went to both Uruguay games, both of which ended in draws.
Now, yesterday was Father's Day. By the way, happy belated Father's Day to Channing Crowder. Jimmy, myself, and Solana. I don't think we are fathers yet, or at least we don't know if we are fathers yet. Maybe
I'll send y'all a text. I'll teach y'all how to make babies.
Well, yeah, there could be a little gelb running somewhere, in a different state. It has crossed my mind. I hope it's not the case, but it has crossed my mind that there could be a few little gelbs somewhere. But Solana, for you took your dad to the game? Like, this is a family affair, and they still couldn't get you a win? They had to tie? I'd rather lose than tie, by the way.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't rather
lose
than tie because you got a point. Yeah, learn the game, Gelby. Learn the game.
No.
Got a point.
I'm going to give you some history. This is why I was out on soccer. U.S., England, all those years ago, all my friends jacked up for the game. We end up tying. Rob Green let the ball go through his legs. Everyone was jacked up about a tie. I watch sports. Winner, loser. Tie, go shove it up your keister.
Okay, all right.
I take Uruguay to win.
But let's not bury the lead. You took your whole family there, and they couldn't even get a win?
Yeah.
On Father's Day?
On Father's Day, yeah.
That's what you did to your old man? You took him to the game, they couldn't even get a win?
My brother, who's a father as well, took his son. We took our dad. So there were 3 generations of Solana out there convinced that this was our game. We were going to beat Cabo Verde. Nice little draw they had against Spain. It was going to be cute. Man, what a disaster. What a disaster for Uruguay. I mean, it's not even a tie. Like, I mean, the goals that we let up were just embarrassing, man. Humiliating loss. Like, just two mistakes you wouldn't even see in like a youth soccer league, a YMCA league in Kendall. It was just embarrassing from a team that frankly had the second best odds in the group, should have won one of those two games, should have won both games if we're being 100% honest, and now has to beat Spain to have a chance to go through, which isn't going to happen. So I'm just, first of all,
no mas.
In a span
Finito.
Of 10 days. Here's my life in a span of 10 days. The effing New York Knicks win an NBA title.
Ganar el partido, el champions.
I spend half my mortgage on going to 2 Uruguay games to watch them draw to 2 inferior opponents. By the way, no disrespect to Cabo Verde. The fans were awesome. Really happy for that fan base because it's the greatest moment in that country's history in terms of athletics. So, like, genuinely, I thought it was such a cool vibe yesterday. But it ended me in despair. It ended with me in despair. And now the Boston Celtics, of all teams, the Boston Celtics are going to get in the way of the Miami Heat landing Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like, I am down bad over the last 10 days.
Oh, I have a great question here. Let's say Giannis goes to the Celtics. Would Solana rather see the Celtics with Giannis win the championship this year or the Knicks go back-to-back? Oh, you know it's the Knicks. You know it's the Knicks. Start spreading the news.
No, it's not. It's not the Knicks. It's never the Knicks.
So it's the Celtics.
You got to love Jalen Brunson. There's no way you can't love Jalen Brunson.
Trade him for Spo easily.
For what?
If you're Solana.
What? Love him for what? Like,
Bro,
why would I love him? Why?
For dropping 45 in a closeout game. Love
By the
that
way,
for
Channing,
what?
Against a Spurs team that was filled with a bunch of losers, couldn't win a single game, had a double-digit lead in every single game that series, and couldn't win a single one of them. Bunch of losers.
Serious question here, Channing. Are you guys getting any of the Knicks on the pivot?
We've had Mikal. He was on there like a year ago, and we're working on Brunson and different guys. You know,
I think you guys
kind of
should
gets
get
on my
Cat.
nerves. Cat gets on my nerves with his wrists.
Well, hold on. You cannot. You shut your mouth now. All right. You can't say anything negative about Karl Anthony Towns because you told me that's why the Knicks wouldn't win the championship, and he basically won them the first 2 games of the NBA Finals.
I can't wait for the inevitable big dog with Karl Anthony Towns after this guy
like Dak Prescott
invented
four,
a chant.
I love you and then trash him when I was working on the network.
He was in foul trouble a lot. You know, not really doing much. You know, that's why I love Brunson.
Can I make one request? And I don't really ask you for much. If you happen to get a Knicks interview, you know, can I just come watch it live in person? Just ask.
I got you, Gil.
Yeah, that's a no. That's a no chance. He's like, I've seen all the things you said on social media about Ryan Clark. No way I'm letting you in that room.
Listen, I got a talent agreement. I can't bring anybody anywhere. I got this check coming.
I'm not a woman. You could bring me places. No one's gonna think anything's up.
Yeah. Gil, you asked Solana about taking his dad on Father's Day. He let his dad get beat up by some Brazilians one time. He doesn't care about his dad.
I actually remember that.
Not Brazilians. They were Colombians. And why are you trying to piss me off, dude? Why are you trying to piss me off? I
let his dad get thrown down the stairs by some Colombian soccer fans.
And you just sat there like a
and just looked around. Well, let's go. Y'all ready to go? Everybody ready to leave?
You sat there like you just tied a game or something like that. Didn't have the guts to win or lose.
F you guys. Now I'm pissed.
Say anything.
Now I'm pissed. Screw you too, Jimmy.
That's not nice. What did Jimmy do?
You got to lock up, Solana. I don't care if it's 60 of them. You got to lock up with one of them.
60. Try 48,000.
Lock up.
Against 3.
Could have been 50.
Solana, the one on the bottom is going to get destroyed while you getting kicked in the back. But that one is getting hell.
You should have just had that big pit bull of yours. That dog just there to help for support, right?
And that dog doesn't even know who his owner is. He doesn't know if it's night or day.
How do you think your wife's enjoying that concert right now, by the way?
She's enjoying the concert.
She goes, Uruguay couldn't win. I gotta
go. She got a dub.
She could be rooting for Spain the other night. Coming up. Vamos.
Oh, Solana.
All right.
You want to get the headlines, buddy?
No, I don't actually. I'm thinking of taking 2 weeks off is what I'm doing. I got no patience for either of you.
Yeah, by the way,
Solana.
Crowder, how stupid
Zero
is he?
patience.
The Knicks win the championship. I got a text from Solana. You want to do Monday through Thursday and then the following week as well? What a dumbass.
Give him hell. You know Gabby gonna give you hell.
Yeah.
I talked to Mike Brown. He's going to send you a Solana Knicks jersey. Cheer you up, all right?
He get mad.
Nah, I don't get mad. I mean, I expect it from these.
He'll
these
have that in
rats
the Tua jersey.
from New
hanging.
York. I expect it. They don't know how. They've never been there before. You know, like we went with class in Miami because we've experienced it before. We've won several titles before. We know how to win down here. These rats.
LeBron
up in
was
New
always
York.
classy when he would lose, right?
These rats up in New York.
Always classy. He told us we all had miserable
They win
lives.
an NBA Finals game and they're beating up poor elderly people wearing San Antonio jerseys outside because that's what New Yorkers do. You know, they have zero class when they win. They're just the most obnoxious fan base in the entire world. And that perfectly exemplifies everything Gelb is about. I mean, the dude is a damn Patriots fan because, of course, he's a Patriots fan. But on top of it, oh, guess what? I'm a Michigan basketball fan because I love to make out with the head coach. And, oh, I'm what other front runner are you, Gelb? I mean,
I root for the
all you
Mets.
do-
So we suck. What are you going to say there?
All you do is you root for all the best teams because that's what you do. You got no backbone, you got no spine, and you just jump to the next winner. Like all you other New York losers who haven't been in the Garden for years, and all of a sudden everybody wants to go viral outside Madison Square Garden like a bunch of dweebs and just take and grift on the New York Knicks
now your
winning a
internet's
title.
cutting out. Oh, your internet.
Bunch of
the
grifters.
internet's cutting out
man.
because you're saying
Learn how to
such crap
lose.
right there.
Yeah, learn how to win.
hot.
Learn how to win
He
with
done-
class.
He
Bunch
done
of
got
losers.
hot now.
Poke that bear. Real easy. It's only Monday. He's got to go deal with me for 3 more days. I'm like you, Donis Haslam. Just gonna be elbowing you and sticking around. All right, let's get the headlines, buddy boy.
Oh, okay.
Help us out here, little fella. Get me the headlines.
I'm regretting this, man.
Let's go. Headlines now.
I've made some bad decisions before. I'd rather be in a stadium full of Colombians than do another 4 days with Zach Gelb. Oh my
You
god.
have something good to stare at if it's a female.
I love Gilby.
All right. Headlines are
He's
driven.
rattled.
Man, I'm hot. God. Headlines are driven by Doral Volkswagen.
I've never won an arm wrestling match without like holding hands with someone. I just verbally just put that hand down of his. He's
Home of the Pricito, our
I
lowest
can tell
price.
when he's mad.
Visit us at Doral Volkswagen or at DoralVolkswagen.com. The Miami Marlins are going to play at 6:40. They've got the Rangers in town, and the Tartan Army is going to take over Lone Depot Park. Listen to the game right here on FM 104.3 WQAM. Stephen Strong will get you started. Marlins on deck at 6 p.m. following the completion of our show at around 6 p.m. I'll just be weeping.
You
go
better
hang
check
out with
that
those
location.
Scottish folks. You and your Uncle Booby. You guys go hang out with the Tartan Army, all right?
You better check that location, Solana.
The Florida Panthers are a lot better today than they were yesterday. They have traded for the other Kachuk. They're teaming up the Kachuk brothers, and you literally have a starting line of Matthew Kachuk, Brady Kachuk, Brad Marchand, Sam Bennett, Sasha Barkov. We'll find out who the goalie is. There was a report today from Elliot Friedman, who's an NHL insider, that it looks unlikely that Bob will be back with the Panthers next season.
Tarasov did his thing, though. Tarasov went bad last year when he got in.
Yeah, but I don't think you can win a Stanley Cup with Tarasov as your
They got to bring somebody else.
So I know Vinny Viola. Maybe we should try to get him on later in the week and ask if Jimmy could be the goaltender for the Panthers. I think Jimmy would be a good goaltender, right? Take a lot of shots.
Not a chance.
Yeah, with Barkey in front of him, Jimmy.
And he's got quick reflexes. You see that way when Solana almost cursed how quickly he was about to be on that dump button?
He was.
Good reflexes. Jimmy, what's your last name? Garcia, right?
Garcia, yes.
Saved by Garcia. You have the whole crowd chanted, Jimmy, Jimmy. It will work.
I like it.
The Miami Heat, they're awaiting word on what the Milwaukee Bucks are going to do with Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's pretty much the consensus right now, either the Celtics or the Miami Heat. That's what the Bucks are deciding, and we await their decision. The NBA draft is tomorrow. Tobin and I will be out there live from 7 to 11 talking about the Miami Heat, who have the 13th overall selection.
9:07 a.m. tomorrow, I'm saying, is my prediction that we get the
9:07?
Giannis news. 9:07 tomorrow. You guys real quickly, quick predictions? Tonight, tomorrow, middle of the night? What do you think?
I think middle of the night, and he goes to Boston.
I think tonight, like midnight, is when we'll find out. Tonight at around midnight, we'll
So that'd
find
be
out.
tomorrow then.
And
Sure, tomorrow.
what's the outcome?
Boston.
Miami.
Solana.
Oh my God. Do you imagine how much of a miserable prick he's going to be tomorrow if they don't get Giannis?
Oh, goodness gracious.
Uruguay on Monday, Giannis on Tuesday. Ooh.
Sending these threads and these videos on the thread, and yeah, he gets excited.
Yeah.
Miami.
The two of us may need to take a mental health day tomorrow so we don't have to deal with Solana Crowder.
I'm
sticking to it.
So mad.
Miami. Your weather in South Florida, it is partly cloudy, 90 degrees currently in Miami. That is brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting, replacing roofs, roof repairs, maintenance, and hurricane impact windows and doors. Visit tornadoroofing.com. Back to you, dweebs.
Wes Goldberg is going to join us next. He's not a dweeb. He'll be joining us on 104.3 FM WQAM to chat a little bit about Giannis. Will it be Boston? Will it be to Miami? We'll talk with Wes next.
You're listening to the Hawk, Crowder, and Solana Show.
Yeah. What did you think about shaving your ass?